Very. Did you like that intro I put together?
That was great. It was so good. It was so unique.
Yeah.
And like
no one's
custom
ever used
made.
That before. Yes. It wasn't a preset. I don't know what you're
You know what
talking
really
about.
bugs me? No offense to people to do it, but there's a lot of people now that go to these AI music sites and then write songs in AI and then make it as their intro. Look, no offense to you guys. I know a lot of you guys use it, but I fucking hate it. I hate it. I hear it and I'm immediately like, that sounds literally like AI, and I just can't. I cannot with it. So
it sounds like computer algorithm just took a whole bunch of crap and strung it together. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. Hello, how's everybody doing?
Yeah, how's the chat doing today?
Yeah,
we're streaming on how many channels today? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 channels.
87.
I saw some comments about Turf Nation's channel being dead because they're like, he doesn't post anymore, so we're just streaming to his channel. And I'm like,
yeah,
I get it, but I mean, I haven't really heard anything from Turf in forever. I don't even know if he's still.
He pops up in the chat occasionally because he didn't want to get taken out of the chat. But yeah. I don't. I don't know. I just.
If you're watching, shout out to Turf's channel. If you're watching on Turf's channel, shout out.
Give Turf's channel a little love. I know he's incommunicado, but he's a founder here at the initiative. Like give him a little love. But yeah, guys, if you're watching, make sure to like and subscribe. We got a very exciting show. Do not have to rush through today. I did not find out last minute that my daughter has a concert. Have to.
Well, there we go.
Oh my god!
It's the little things in life, right? It's just
it is. It really is. But yeah, just a normal show. We do have some Eric July stuff that'll be coming up later, and we'll go over some Thinking Critical.
This Thinking Critical thing I have not seen. All the other stuff, I'm like, I heard about everything else, but that one I had not seen.
I actually I watched it so I could capture it, just so I would have a good copy to play on stream. And yeah, he says a lot of quiet parts out loud there, so it'll be.
Well, did you see that Jubilee thing with Sam Cedar?
No, I plan on covering that on Saturday, but I did see your.
That was crazy.
And there is a segment we're going to talk about here that.
I will say we have to be careful with Jubilee. They are copyright claiming channels. So
are they?
Yeah, the video that I did, the reaction video I did, is completely ineligible for monetization. And I was like, should I take it down because I can't, like, it's getting blocked in certain territories and stuff. But I just decided to leave it up. So it's there on my channel, but it's not. It's limited and there's no monetization on it, which is fine, but they're going after channels. And this is weird because their original statement when they started making these videos was they wanted people to react to them. They wanted it to trend on social media. And because to be clear, their videos get millions of views.
Yeah.
So it's not like they need to claim tiny channels that are reacting to their content, but
well, I mean, their whole gimmick is that essentially they invite on just a whole bunch of noteworthy social media creators, some smaller, some bigger. They invite them onto panels, and it's like, I mean, reacting to the stuff is kind of par for the course when you're doing that.
Right, because that's the whole thing is they. I thought they understood that that's the game. The game is you want people to take your content and react to it.
Yes.
So when they decided to switch it up, that was quite interesting. I will say I tried to use this today. I want to show this though. I got a little mini audio mixer for like my microphone and everything, but it's having some issues with StreamYard that I have to work out. So I thought it was best that I don't test it out on this stream. So we'll try it on another one. But
wait, it's issues with StreamYard? I've never heard of this.
I know. It's supposed to be much better for these. From what I understand, the podcasters that have the really good clear audio use a separate mixer, so I grabbed a starter one to really like work with it and see if I can get it to work. Anyway, I'm excited about it, but I probably won't start using it till next week once I have everything set up and good to go. But
that does sound like fun.
Maybe I'll sound like an actual podcaster once I get it all set up and everything.
Is that the secret to sounding like a podcaster?
I think it is. Eric July has one. So
I will get an audio mixer. Then next week I'll sound like James Earl Jones.
Well, this one's this one does have a voice changer in it. But I got this one for like $40. It wasn't expensive. It was pretty good price. So
that's very, very awesome.
A Panini press. Panini press. Of course, yeah, that's what it was.
So we got a few stories, and there's a couple I want to get through real fast. This is one I didn't really have time to announce. It's a news one, but we can go over it real fast. This is who is it? Muhammad Khalil.
Mhm.
He's a Columbia University graduate and a green card holder. He was doing Palestinian protests, protesting the bombing in Gaza and stuff like that.
Right.
I don't know the full extent of it, but the fact is he's here legally.
He's got a green card,
and
so he's here
yeah,
legally.
he's here legally. He's doing protests, which is a protected first speech, freedom of speech right. And ICE detained him. Essentially, as far as we can tell, it's because he was protesting the Israel-Gaza thing.
I think we should take this time to remind everyone that this is probably one of the best examples of suppression of free speech that you could have. It's the government telling you that you can't protest and you can't express your opinion about something. You can't use your voice about something. Whether you agree or disagree with what protesters are doing. Look, I see people protesting stuff all the time that I don't agree with. But the thing is, they're allowed to do it. They're allowed to protest as long as they're not violating any laws. And he wasn't breaking any laws unless you consider free speech to be something that he can't have. Because I did see there was a guy, Tom Homan, the director of ICE now. I can't remember his Tom something. Let me see. Hold on. I have it here in my bookmarks. It is
it's in here.
Tom Homan, yeah.
Okay.
He said something today. I'll actually pull it up here so we have it. Let me add this here. Present. He said this today, and this is literally an example of free speech suppression. Let me pull this up here. Why does it not let me add it? It's making me remove. That's weird. I have to remove yours first before I can add mine.
Well, that's going to cause it to morph every time. That's kind of annoying.
Yeah, that's annoying. Okay. Let's see here. What do you say? All right. So this is a little comment. Oh, do we have someone pop in?
I think so. What?
So this is Tom from. It's
what?
A wild Dane has appeared.
My name is not Tom. I'm sorry, that's not my name.
So this right here is a prime example of government suppression of free speech, and let's listen to what he has to say here. Because if you're someone that believes in free speech, whether you agree or disagree with any kind of protesting, this is not something you should go. Yeah, this is okay, because it's not. Let's listen here.
Contradicts the United States foreign policy. That's the Secretary of State. That's in charge of the Secretary of State. We consider a national security threat. When you're on campus and they say, I hear freedom of speech. Can you stay in a movie theater and yell fire?
It's not the same thing.
It's a peaceful protest.
But when you go to college campus,
free speech has limitations.
Protesting and locking down and taking over buildings and damaging property and handing out leaflets for Hamas, who is a terrorist organization. Coming to this country either on a visa or becoming a resident alien is a great privilege. But there are rules associated with that. You might be able to get away with that stuff in the last administration, but you won't under this administration.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't a green card essentially the same thing as being a actual citizen of the United States? Isn't that what it is? Am I wrong about that?
I mean, I don't know the full context of what a green card means, but I mean, I would assume so. Like,
let me check. Hold on. I want to check that. I want to fact check it while we're actually sitting here.
I mean,
I also want to say, sorry, Bob. I want to say the comment about comparing a protest to yelling fire in a movie theater is the same fucking shit that they got mad at us for saying when we talked about their hate speech.
Yeah.
So now they're using that same fucking comparison and incorrectly at that. It's an incorrect, unfair comparison. You're muted, Dane, by the way. I know you're trying to talk.
A green card is, let's see, it is 10 years for the standard. That's a two years conditional green card. It allows non-citizen to live and work in the U.S. permanently, I guess, but you have to renew it, I guess. Holders can travel outside the U.S. and re-enter with a valid alien registration card. Holders can apply for a re-entry permit if they plan to be outside the U.S. for a long time. Holders can lose their status for certain legal violations. Which is
legal, so he has to actually be guilty of something then, right? He has to have done something. Look, I want to point this out. I have seen several videos talking about this. I have not seen one, at least up until this point, one actual shred of evidence that shows that he's connected to anything. Matter of fact, any of the talk shows where people have talked about him being connected to terrorist organizations, I've seen no evidence of that. If he was actually doing that, it should be the front page news.
Yeah.
It should be the main story. But if they don't have that, they're just going to keep saying that he is and never show it to you. The same thing with the bullshit Epstein stuff that they did, that they got elected on, they refused to make available to the public, other than the stuff that we already knew. It's nonsense. If this person actually did something wrong, they absolutely should be shipped away if they broke the rules or whatever. But there's no proof of that I have seen yet. So if there is an article that shows exactly what he did and exactly what his connections are, okay, then that's fair. But so far right now, it's just a free speech issue.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, it'd be one thing, if he was if he was working with a terrorist group, if he was like funding Hamas or some shit like that. But like if he's just literally protesting, and I'd even argue, even if he's protesting for Hamas, which I would find kind of cringe and not for whatsoever, that is still within his free speech rights. This is a
prove it.
Story.
What is the organization? Name the organization and prove it.
I'm gonna look into this, and if I don't find it, you're fucking gone, dude. Just repeating bullshit.
I mean, literally, the story. If he was working with some sort of terrorist organization, that would be the story,
right?
So
they wouldn't call him an activist. They wouldn't call him an activist. He would be considered a terrorist at that point.
Yes,
they wouldn't call him an activist.
And we can have questionable issues about all the Homeland Security rules, but those do exist. And
I also want to say the other thing is, outside of this story, Trump has said that he wants to do away with what he calls illegal protesting, which is suppression of free speech. So I don't even know what that means. Illegal protesting. The beginning of like an authoritarian government, one of the first things they do is prevent you from organizing and prevent you from protesting. I just want you guys to be aware of that. So unless there is some reputable information about this, that they have, I'm not talking about accusations, I'm talking about actual reputable information, then this is a free speech violation.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I find this whole situation not good at all.
And by the way, I want to point out, this is AP. Scroll down a little bit, if you could, Bob.
What are we looking for?
Any sort of update at the top that says he's a terrorist, because AP would have that updated in the story.
AP. Yeah.
The only thing they have updated there is some stuff that Trump said.
Why I chose it. Yeah. Update. Judges ordered Trump administration not to deport Palestinian activists.
Which would tell me that there's been no criminal charges filed against him.
So I don't know where whoever's saying that he is involved in any sort of terrorist activity is getting your news, but don't. Like if you're looking
if it's news, not on AP, then it's not going to be real. It's going to be bullshit.
AP and Reuters are generally speaking your best sources for news. Just FYI, if you're looking for just general news. I see nothing about that.
Right. So then it's bullshit.
Yeah. Anything you guys want to add, or shall we move on?
I just want to say that we need to keep an eye on this, because this is one of those things where
absolutely.
That if you start coming after protesting, legal protesting, and when I say legal, I'm making sure I put that word in there because Trump use the term illegal, is when you are gathering somewhere where either it is a place where you are allowed to protest or a place where you've gathered a permit. That is literally the only the guidelines for that. Other than that, if you're committing crimes or you're doing illegal things, you're going to be arrested. This is the issue. People seem to think that when someone is breaking and entering into a building and destroying it, that is protesting. People can say it's protesting, but parts of that are actually illegal and people get arrested for that. But if you're just protesting, that's not illegal.
Absolutely. I agree. And I find this very troubling.
The Jerusalem Post, who is trying to conflate the
of course.
Which is the organization that he's with. They're trying to conflate it but they're just saying that like these are the damning things that they're quoting. They're like, as students living in the U.S. who recognize that we must work hard to weaken U.S. imperialism. And the struggle in Palestine is my fight as a black person in America. I mean, I don't even see how these are controversial unless you're just absolutely a fascist. Like they are inextricably linked, these things. Yeah.
So, but there's no thing about him being the leader of a terrorist organization, right?
No,
okay, well, that's bullshit then. That's a lie.
No, that guy's a dumb piece of shit.
I mean, that's also kind of like getting your Ukraine news from RT. It might be a little biased.
Yeah, that's bullshit. You don't make accusations. That's how people get hurt. Like when you come in and you say stuff about people like that, they can get hurt. And I'm not talking specifically about this case. Any case where you make these wild accusations about stuff that people do, people get hurt because of that.
Yeah,
you cannot say that.
Mike Jenkins, if it's the Hamas support he's being deported for, which I don't think that's even an accurate statement as far as we know yet, but like, why aren't so many fucking white dudes being deported for supporting the terrorist organizations in the U.S. like the Proud Boys, 3%ers, Oath Keepers, that are, they're fucking terrorist organizations. There's lots of white nationalist terrorism in the U.S. and there's lots of white people that support these groups. Why are they not deported just for supporting them?
I also want to point out anybody who's doing whataboutism in the comments, I'm not defending any or saying people shouldn't be allowed. If there's a group or community that wants to protest and they're doing it legally, they should be allowed to do it. I support that 100% for everyone. Even if, and I don't think he is, but even if this guy is like some, there's something to be found out if he's really guilty of doing something fucked up or connected to some actual violent terrorist group, whatever happened to the same people that are like, oh, what due process, innocent before until proven guilty? That just doesn't apply to brown people, or what? What do you think? Yeah, no, exactly. That's it.
Yeah.
100%. I think that whataboutism is weird because nowhere did I say other people shouldn't be allowed to protest. I have said protesting is legal in this country. It's one of the foundations of the United States. We see it happening all over the world. Mass protests in different places of people that don't agree with their government. The government does not control us. We elect people to represent us into the government. That's how this works. They don't get to come in and say, all of a sudden, all those things that you have that are guaranteed to you, we wipe away because now that you've elected us, we got full power. We're the kings and queens of the world, and we're just going to take everything away from you. That's not how that works.
Oh, and I also did forget about that factoid about this guy. So Muhammad Khalil does have a wife who's 8 months pregnant in the States. So, yay.
Yeah.
Really good.
This is one of those stories where, for me, it's a very clear free speech issue. Like, unless it comes out that he's actually committed a crime, it's a free speech issue, period.
Exactly. Right now, it just sounds like he's protesting stuff they don't want him to protest, and they're.
And the thing is, the same fucking people out there that want to support people like the Tates, all the way to the point that they're found guilty of committing some sort of awful crimes, right? They're convicted of it. They'll go, well, I didn't know then, so that makes it okay. So don't come in here and be like, oh, you're defending him now, but wait till you find out later. Fuck that. It's a free speech issue now until we find out he's done something else.
It's a free speech issue, and as long anybody that's just like, oh, but because of this, it's okay. You're part of the fucking the slope that's going to lead to you losing your fucking free speech. Probably
they don't even realize that
you actually don't have any. So you motherfuckers that have been screaming and whining for years about free speech because you said the N-word on Twitter and got suspended for a couple of days, whatever. Don't fucking understand what free speech is.
Mm-hmm. And let me go ahead and say this real fast. I condemn Hamas. Okay, get that out of the way real fast. But this is if he is advocating for them with just words, that's free. That's a free speech thing. That is a free.
Okay, green cards allow you the same rights of people under the U.S. Constitution. I know in the comments you're trying to say otherwise, but if you were here on a green card, you have the same rights.
Under review, but he hasn't committed a crime, as far as I know.
Mm-hmm. So yes, that can be taken away from you under certain circumstances. But if you are just expressing free speech, that is not a crime. You might not like what he's saying. Fuck, how often do we get on here and argue about stuff we don't like people saying here on YouTube, but they still have the right to say it? That's the issue, right? You have to allow people to have free speech. The best you can do is talk against it, but you can't fucking convict people for expressing free speech. That's bullshit.
That's what these Trump type people, that's all they want to do, man. They want to fucking just like get rid of anybody that thinks anything different than them or anything inconvenient or whatever, Oh, what? Bob. We're getting rid of Bob too. He said some shit I don't like, so shut up, Bob.
It says something popped up and said he's still on stream, but with
I should still be here. I just turned off the camera. Can you guys hear me?
Oh,
yeah. I didn't know you could do that.
You guys hear me?
You can. You can. You go to the settings.
I just turned off the camera.
Let's see.
Wait, hold on. Let me try something. Stop cam. Oh,
that is bizarre.
Yeah, it drops you out of the stream now.
Yeah, all I did was stop cam.
Yep. But I'm still here. Right?
Mystery.
Like the chat is going crazy here. No one is advocating for something you don't like because you support free speech. Fuck, what the fuck?
We do not fucking advocate for or condone fucking Hamas. However, in the same way that we believe that people can fucking Hail Hitler or whatever, and not just go to jail for it. You know what I mean? Even though it's fucking deplorable.
Oh, they're going to clip that, Dane. They're going to clip that. That's
even though it's fucking disgusting. You know what I mean?
I mean, it's fairly simple. Elon Musk is allowed to Heil Hitler, and we're allowed to call him a fucking Nazi for it.
Yeah, I mean, the thing about it is that the painful part about free speech, the one thing you have to accept, is you're going to have people that say things you don't like, but that is the point of free speech. That is the whole point of it, is the government can't swoop in and say, we don't like what you're saying, so we're going to punish you for it. Free speech is not, Eric doesn't like what Dane is saying, so I don't want to hear what Dane has to say, so I'm going to ban him from my YouTube channel, which I never would. But if I did that, that would not be a free speech issue. The free speech issue is the government coming in and telling you can't say something, which is exactly what's happening here.
No, wait, I thought our comment boards were the town marketplace of ideas. What?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, no.
And if this guy ends up being a piece of shit, then so be it. Get him out of the fucking country. That's the way I feel about it. Like, if it comes out that
we're defending the ability to fucking learn what's actually going on and apply fucking, you know, the other parts of the Constitution to it as well. Like, you know, due process, man. Like, just saying like, oh, he's led us some protests that, you know, there were some people involved that said something positive about Hamas or whatever. You know, has he said anything positive about Hamas? I'm not sure.
I didn't see anything. Yeah, I mean, I haven't seen anything. Like, the issue is right now, if someone in the chat decided that they wanted to go out when Biden was president and say, fuck Biden, fuck Harris, fuck the United States, and then they got arrested for it and threatened to get deported for it, they would be up in arms like it's the craziest fucking thing ever, because we're supposed to be pro free speech. But because this person is saying something they don't like, all of a sudden free speech doesn't matter. It's the hypocrisy for me. It's the double standard.
Absolutely. And double standards is all they have. We have another story here, which actually looks very interesting. Although I feel like going over that, we're actually going to go over a different story, because here's Alyssa Mercante. She has a Rolling Stone article, Harassment, Stalkers, Death Threats, Day in Life of Women on Twitch. Sounds very interesting. And I have subscribed to read this. And this is part of the issue. So, like, there could be actually really good, powerful stories in here. I have no idea what they are.
Look at this misinformation, man. I'm sorry, but like, just all they have is misinformation. It's fucking insane.
Yeah.
You're gone. You're gone for being that
and that's
stupid.
the thing. If we want to look up some right-wing misinformation in articles, we could find that easily. But this, no.
You want me to give you guys the trick for this?
Ooh, there's a trick for this?
Should I say this on camera? Like, I feel like this might be revealing something that people don't know.
You talking about the article or the
how to read this without subscribing? It's really easy.
Wayback, right? Wayback Machine.
No, it's even easier than that. You just turn off JavaScript. JavaScript is the thing that makes this pop up. Like, if you go into the site, into Google, and turn off JavaScript, like go up in the little icon in the corner and turn JavaScript off and then reload the page, it'll load it up without the pictures, but you can still read the article.
Oh.
Yeah, JavaScript is how they get you to subscribe to stuff. It works on most sites.
Well, I don't know.
Is that a hack?
Much effort into it. But...
Well, is that a known hack? Is it working for you?
I mean,
you got to reload it.
I don't know how long I'm going to get into it. But my point was essentially
that you have to pay to get into an article that's important, right? Yeah.
The actual noteworthy article that we should be able to cover, and we can't.
Right.
Just
because they lock it behind a paywall.
Right.
This is one of the reasons why a lot of people, like, there's an app called Straight Arrow News, right? I don't know if you guys have heard of this or not, but it's a news app that gives you news stories that are completely off the radar, things that are important that just aren't being reported by the news, but you have to pay for it. And I'm like, I don't mind supporting you. Like, if you had like a premium version or something where I could like send some money your way, I don't mind doing that. But if you are a news outlet, I'm not talking about an editorial site or something like Medium where people can submit articles or whatever. If you are actually doing something to try and help the culture, I don't mind sitting through some ads or paying additionally if I want to turn ads off. But to lock everything behind a paywall is a little weird. It's a little weird.
If I want to go out and find some bullshit misinformation that looks like a news source, I could find that no problem. But actual facts and data paywalled, that doesn't seem right.
Yeah.
I feel like there should be more of an option other than turning off JavaScript.
Well, especially a site like Rolling Stone. How much money do you think
Yeah.
Rolling Stone makes on ad revenue versus other sites? Probably a ton. Probably a ton.
And
so the subscription thing seems a little ridiculous.
And I could say there could be an argument to maybe leave it unlocked for like at least a few days. Let people read it. But yeah.
I think some sites will do like you get 5 stories a week or something for free before they make you pay for premium.
Something like that.
Like that's even a better idea. But to lock all of it behind a paywall is a little weird.
Yeah. So I don't like that.
Here's a story about death threats. Pay us $5. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Sounds legit.
Yay. Yeah. I'm really, really excited. Well, here's just more of a fun story that I just thought this tickled me. They're crying. So I want to stress, do you guys remember that Reagan movie that came out last year starring fucking Dennis Quaid?
Unfortunately, I remember.
Yeah.
I didn't see it, but it looked awful.
That was when I learned that
so,
Dennis Quaid is almost as crazy as his brother.
I know. I used to think he might be sane because Jack seems reasonable. But yeah, no,
I think they're on they are not on speaking terms. So yeah, Jack Quaid seems pretty rad.
Yeah. So maybe Meg Ryan's a reasonable one, or maybe Jack Quaid's an anomaly. I don't know. But so Reagan came out last year. It was critically panned by like everybody. Nobody liked this movie. But now they're trying to say that it was blocked from being a Best Picture contender because it didn't qualify for DEI requirements. I just find this hilarious. This is just proof? The hope of trying to reframe it.
Do they provide any kind of like proof for that, or it's just saying some shit?
Let's see. I know I was looking around.
I mean, because otherwise it just sounds like a fucking
any of the criteria
gamers video or something. You know what I mean? Just making a claim about this.
This is New York Post, which is really not a news site. Really not.
You got to sort of like sift through the mud in the New York Post to find where all the information comes from.
Yeah. The movie starring Dennis Quaid couldn't hit any of the criteria the Academy of Motion Picture requires for Best Picture nomination, including their cast be at least 30% from traditionally underrepresented groups such as minorities, women, and LGBTQ. By these new rules, many of the winners would never have been recognized. Reagan looked awful. I'm sorry. In fact, something I meant to look up before I went live, but then I forgot. Let's see. I want to double check this real fast. Okay. So, guys, don't worry. I was correct. It was nominated for Razzies, though.
Well.
So, yeah. I would say if you get nominated for a Razzie, it's probably tough to get nominated for the Academy Award as well. That's kind of, I don't know of movies that really do that one.
I would love to see a movie that managed to do both, though. That'd be kind of special. Yeah,
that would be kind of wild. I'm not even saying Razzies are necessarily the worst movies ever of the year. I didn't see Borderlands. Joker 2 was pretty bad. I don't know if I would consider it one of the worst of the year. Megalopolis is kind of interesting. It's bad, but and then I haven't seen Reagan. But I don't like of the two I've seen. I won't consider those two of the worst of the year, much less it's just kind of. Honestly, I'd almost say like if you're a film student interested in bad movies, it's interesting to dissect both these movies to figure out what happened with those two.
Is Jack Black actually bad in that movie? Like, I mean, I understand the movie's probably shit, but like, I don't know. I can't imagine Jack Black just turning in a shit performance necessarily. Like, he puts 110%.
I don't know. I haven't seen that one. I was kind of interested because it got some viral news going on. But yeah. My point is simply, when your movie gets nominated for Razzies, I don't think I don't think DEI requirements are what we're holding it back from Academy Award contention.
Well, I think we've gotten to the point now where people think DEI works like affirmative action, like they're just forced to hire people based on race because of some sort of quota. I realized that the last few days I've watched some streams and podcasts from people diving into specifically that, because I've heard affirmative action now being thrown around with DEI and DEIA, and it's like, that's not the same thing. They're very different. One is like it's something you have to do legally with the affirmative action. It was something that was required. Whereas DEI and DEIA has been something that's been sort of voluntary for companies, which is why Target and places like that are like, oh, we're just not going to do it anymore, because it wasn't ever legally required of them. So it's two completely different things. You don't, DEI or DEIA is not like I'm hiring this person because they're a person of color. That's not how that works. It means you don't fire them because they're a person of color. It means that you open the scope of how you're looking at the pool of talent, opposed to just like looking at a specific thing. Whereas affirmative action is specifically about this race and this job and things like that. They just don't understand it. So yeah, DEI in essence just means you're widening the net for casting. And when it comes to Hollywood movies and stuff like that. And that doesn't make you get Razzies. If you open up the net wider and you have someone come in and they're good enough for the role, that just means that you found like a diamond in the rough type situation.
Trying to portray Reagan as like wholesome and all-American and not just like a fucking senile, corrupt, corporate fucking plant is probably what earned it a Razzie.
Yeah.
Probably. But yeah, I just thought that was funny. Do you guys want to talk about some absolute cinema now?
Yes.
Okay, this one's just kind of funny. So Marvel released a new trailer for Thunderbolts. Here, let me get stuff cleared off here.
Yeah, the one that shows how Thunderbolts is going to be like an indie movie apparently.
This
right?
movie looks so good to me, though. It does. I'm sorry.
It does.
People on it, but it looks really good.
Oh wait, I already have it loaded up. Hold on.
They're really trying though to like connect it with A24 and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
Whoops, I added it and then you added it. I think we both added it at the same time.
Oh my! Wait,
it's not showing. What's going on?
Yeah,
there's something going on with StreamYard.
Glitchy.
Is it? Yeah. Do you have to use the stuff on the left, the new shit? What the fuck?
We didn't. I was able to pull mine up without it.
Yeah.
Weird.
Okay, here we go.
Stop fucking with stuff, StreamYard.
There's something wrong.
I love the soundtrack, by the way.
Yeah.
Green Knight's good.
It's Green Knight was good, but like it's just a whole bunch of A24 credits and done like an A24 style. I dig this.
They're trying a new thing with fucking marketing. Come on, like
the Avengers are not coming. Who will keep people safe?
Bob.
I'm in this. What the hell?
Yes! Yeah!
That looks fucking good, but I'm gonna say now
looks like fun.
The hipster in me is like, I liked it before this trailer even came out because I was looking forward to this one. Like, I know Fantastic Four is gonna do really good, and that does look good to me. But out of the 3 movies from Marvel this year, Thunderbolts is the one that I'm like, I really want to see what this movie is. Partly because I'm really into the Winter Soldier. Like, I'm really into that character. So
I was really excited when they announced Thunderbolts, and I was disappointed to find out they're not doing like the classic Zemo led one, but like. Yeah. All the promotions and advertisements they've done for it have been fucking solid. Like, I'm like, okay.
Neo, I think it is on the like. I don't know if cheaper is the right word. It looks like it's going to be one of the least expensive of the 3 movies. To be honest, I don't think people are prepared for Sentry. I mean,
Dude,
a lot of
Sentry's
people
be intense.
Right? Like, if you haven't read the comics, I think the general public is going to be like, holy shit. With this character, because he is so different. Yeah, people call him Marvel's Superman because of like the powers that he has.
Yeah,
but he's got more powers than Superman, and he's fucking out of his mind. So
yeah,
I don't think people understand that.
Well, I mean, he was
No,
created like literally specifically to be Superman, but like if he was crazy.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah, and it's legitimately one of the coolest stories. It came out like right around the same time I got back into comics as an adult. So like I was reading that, and it's just, you know, the way they did his origin, where they like folded it back in retroactively to where like all of the heroes knew him at one point, like him and Hulk were good friends and shit like that.
Right.
But all of their memories had been erased of him for some mysterious reason, and then you come find out the reason, and it's pretty crazy.
I just love the idea of someone as powerful as Sentry, and then this group of just like ragtag villains slash heroes
barely
who
a
really
superpower
shouldn't be able
among
to go.
them, right?
Yeah, really shouldn't be able to go up against him. Have to take him down. I love.
Well,
the
I think that's actually the exciting part, because if you think
Yes.
about it, it takes us back to the first Avengers movie, right? Where you had this alien invasion that seemed like it was too much even for the heroes that we had. It's just that story, but scaled down for like a more sort of like personal connection with these characters. Because I feel like we see in that trailer, Yelena is talking to herself. So there's going to be some psychological shit going on, which I think is really cool. Red Guardian, fucking amazing. David Harbour, can't wait to see that. It looks like Taskmaster's getting killed off in the first act, clearly, because that character just pretty much disappears.
Really? No.
Yeah.
I think they could do a good job.
I mean,
that
it's either that or they're going to have to
character.
do a lot of
do
work
that.
to give her a personality, right?
Yeah,
Right.
and they could have an excuse, essentially. You know, she was on drugs or something, and now she's kind of recovering, and now she's kind of a smart ass. They could.
I
they
mean,
could
she
work
might. Well,
that in
look,
there.
she might not die. She might just get hurt to the point where she's not in the rest of the movie. That's possible too. But I think the truth is, with Secret Wars looming, right, they're going to give us a real Taskmaster, like the OG Taskmaster, when they soft reboot everything.
Mm-hmm. That's it. Well, I mean, they it wouldn't surprise me at all if they kill off somebody early on just to set the stakes for everybody.
I think she's going to be the sacrificial lamb for Sentry for us to see like what happens when he loses his mind.
I'm thinking that Red Guardian will die in the third act.
Oh.
Ooh.
After like
Yeah,
big
I can
hero
see him
moment.
getting an arc. Yeah.
Kind of lives up to the Captain America thing, because he obviously in the previous movie that he was in, he like was wanting to be, you know, as good as Captain America, right?
Right.
Yeah, that's my guess.
By the way, the last season of What If, and I'm disappointed they didn't do any follow up to it. One of the best episodes was essentially Winter Soldier and Red Guardian buddy story, which I really enjoyed. But yes, people are lots of people are talking shit about this trailer just because it's doing the absolute cinema thing, and I think it's remarkably silly. I just this guy, we name dropped a bunch of A24 movies. The people who worked on this one also did, and it's cut like A24 trailer. It's just like an A24 movie, guys.
Hey guys, like life doesn't have to be so fucking uptight. You can relax a little bit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that, the absolute cinema thing, just like Martin Scorsese.
Look, what this screams to me is that people don't want these movies to succeed. Right. That's what I think it is. Like there's so many people that are just absolutely like personally offended by cinema and fun that they just cannot let people have a good time.
Professionally, that's their motive, is to like anything, just, you know, destroy any kind of hype and as many people as they can for stuff like this. I was looking through some stuff, old videos, and I remember where Eric July had made a video about what was it? Fuck, came out not too long ago. Everybody liked it, but it was like it was Deadpool, Wolverine, or something. But he was like, the video he made was like, it's not enough. You know, he's like saying he's almost like, maybe it's good. It may but it's not enough. It's like there's always something that he's got to throw in there to be like, don't be too happy with them. Buy Isom.
Yeah, Isom's enough. We'll get to Rippaverse here in a little bit.
Well, like, so like this comment right here, they're trying too hard to be art housey. Why can they not do that? Are they not allowed? Do we want to just everything they try, everything they do, we're going to complain about? Is that what is that where we're at?
I mean,
the assumption here is that they think that they're actually convincing people with this trailer that it's some kind of fucking indie art house A24 movie, when nobody's that stupid, man.
It's a fucking joke. Nobody thinks a Marvel movie is done by A24.
Right.
It's like, that's the thing. People are taking this seriously, and it's like,
in a way, they're almost kind of poking fun at themselves for not being, you know what I mean? They're these people work on those movies, but
this movie will be just
now we've gotten to the point where people that work on films aren't even allowed to advertise the stuff they've worked on previously. So like if I've done something previously and I'm working on a new movie, it is wrong for me to have that shown in the previews for the upcoming movies, because no one's ever done that before. No one ever talks about like movies that someone's worked on previously. But when Marvel does it, they're trying too hard because they announced that this person worked on this movie before. Really?
Mm-hmm.
Also, trying hard is bad, apparently.
Yeah.
I mean, I just don't know.
They're trying to push this movie so hard as an artsy.
I'll be honest. I'm kind of over the pedantic like pseudo intellectual bullshit when it comes to like popcorn movies. Like save that shit for movies that actually deserve that kind of scrutiny. These are popcorn films. They're supposed to be fun movies. They're not supposed to be Martin Scorsese type film. Like that's not what these are.
This guy's how sad, man. You literally can't stop thinking about it. Like, dude, what do you have? You don't have anything in your life.
It's clout sharking A24. It feels like someone's trying to trick you into going into a Christian punk show. What the fuck?
So here's the thing.
I'm fucking losing sleep over the show.
If we know it's not an A24 movie, how are they tricking people into it's an A24 movie? It's a Marvel film. It's from Disney. No one believes it's from A24. No one. Are we suggesting that people are going to watch that trailer and think that it's an A24 movie? Is that what we're suggesting? It's clearly a Marvel movie.
Yeah, this is one I almost agreed with.
For indie cred?
Exactly. So, like, until we get to that last bit, I'm totally on board. This promo for the Thunderbolts movie is extremely funny. I agree. I think it's quite funny. Yeah. It reeks of desperation for indie cred. No, it just struck me as them being goofy and being like, hey, it's A24.
Marvel needs to change things. They give us Eternals. No, not like that. Marvel needs to change things. They give us She-Hulk. Not like that. Marvel needs to change things. Oh, it's like an indie. No, they can't. There's literally nothing they can do. You guys just need to shut up. Like, if there's nothing they can do to make you happy, stop engaging with their content.
Also, like, it doesn't replace having a personality to like be just completely against anything that Marvel does, no matter what, right? It doesn't make you interesting. It doesn't make you cool. I mean, I know it does among certain people, but those people are terrible too. So just go hang out with them.
So now Sean here has got me wanting Lars von Trier.
You know what's really funny about this? You know what's funny about this? I almost guarantee the people that are mad that Marvel is giving the accolades of some of their people working on that movie to things they've done for indie films. I think it's really funny that those guys never promote indie films. Those channels never promote indie films. Yeah. Where is all the promotion for these amazing A24 movies that apparently Marvel is clout sharking? Where's the promotion for those?
Oh, they don't.
It's almost like you ignore it. It's almost like they don't talk about it.
Huh.
Well, I mean, what was it? I'm going to find something real quick before I start talking about it. But there was something about Critical Drinker I saw posted relating to indie movies and like how he, what was it? Something about, was it the Academy Awards or something? He just like said every movie sucked or something. And it's like just becomes clear that he doesn't like anything, apparently.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's funny to me, man. It's funny and sad at the same time because I'm actually reaching a point. I don't know when it's going to happen, but I feel like this year might be the year where I'm just over dumb criticisms of movies. Like I feel like I'm reaching a point where I'm not even going to engage with that anymore because it's if people are still into that, they are doing so willingly. They're doing so knowing that there's no criticism there. There's nothing of value in those comments. It's getting to the point where there's like, when you start shitting on something because it's advertising people's previous projects, I don't know what the fucking problem is then at that point. Like, I don't get it. So they did a cool promo for a movie that they want to be successful by showcasing the talent that's in the movie. Fuck. Where do you go from there? I don't even know where, like, what's the next step? Oh, they made an ad for the movie? Fuck, it seems desperate.
Yeah.
They desperation, they made a commercial. Like, I don't even know where you go from there.
They made a It's like, so Marvel, when they release movies now, they just have to make sure nobody knows about it.
They don't even announce it. It just pops up in the theater. We never even know it's coming out.
No,
it's just like
there's even guards at the theater to shoot people as they try to come in and watch.
Right. You can't see it. You can't, no trailer, no poster, no nothing. Well, what movie is it? We can't tell you. It's desperate. If we promote our content, it's desperation. Like, We're so desperate. We're so desperate that we have to like do the thing that every other movie does, which is advertise and promote our film.
That's desperate. Come on.
Yeah. So if you guys want, I don't know how much you have planned, Bob, but there's a 6-minute video from Critical Drinker where he says about the Oscars, and I think it would probably relate to this.
I don't have anything today, so whatever we have is what we have.
We can dive into it. I got a couple longer things at the end here, but we can dive into it for sure.
By the way, StreamYard, there's a few things I'd like for you to add, but stop giving us stuff that we don't want. That would be really cool.
Yes.
Screwing up everything.
No, I don't even know what this shit is yet. I'm just like,
hey, Critical Drinker, you're using a shot from Star Trek Next Generation episode The Drumhead, which is incredibly anti-fascist episode. Just saying.
Amazing Fantasy 15.
If there's one thing I enjoy less than spending a couple of hours slogging through some tedious, mediocre piece.
Jesus Christ, man. You got fucking unreachable standards. You know how fucking uncommon lightning in a bottle is? And you don't want anything else. It's just like, you got to have a middle ground, man. You got to be able to accept a movie that maybe isn't going to fucking break the, the mold.
I'm wondering, is that sarcasm? Because that last part, I want lightning in a bottle or nothing else. I feel like that might be sarcasm. If not,
I mean,
whatever,
most movies aren't lightning in a bottle. Lots of good movies aren't lightning in a bottle. So
the criteria now is everything has to be a 10 out of 10 perfect film. That's the criteria now. You can't just have okay movies.
Just randomly, I was watching a video about Neil Blomkamp's first three films, and I was watching the part about District 9. That's fucking lightning in a bottle. That movie, is fantastic. Anyway,
I think he's a good filmmaker, but yeah, I do feel like District 9 was definitely where he peaked.
Yeah, he kind of screwed himself with that movie. It was so good that he's never lived up to it.
I mean, Elysium's all right, and then Chappie didn't thrill me, but
piece of Hollywood slop. It's spending a couple of hours slogging through some tedious, mediocre awards ceremony where Hollywood celebrities who flew in on private jets wearing $10,000 dresses preach to us about the evils of capitalism and how we...
By the way, I haven't watched an Academy Awards in probably a decade.
Yeah,
not a single
award show either.
It hasn't been that long for me, but I definitely didn't watch this year because I kind of don't care. Listen, I'm sure the people who won did a very good job, but I also know there's people who did very good jobs that weren't appreciated by the Academy. There's good movies out there. You just have people.
I'm just saying that, like him acting like it's like, oh, I've got to slog through the Academy Awards. No, you don't. You just don't watch it, man. That's what I do.
You just read who won the next day.
You're allowed to not watch it. Yeah.
Pull up an article from Variety and just read the winners. You don't have to watch the whole thing.
Watch some highlight clips or whatever.
I usually go to IMDb and pull up the winners.
We all need to work together to fight climate change or save the Ukraine or whatever the current popular thing is.
How terrible. How terrible, though.
Using a fucking scene from Mandy, you piece of shit. You don't.
I know they do that a lot lately. Dan,
Yeah.
I don't know if you've seen. They've been using this specific scene several times.
I love that
now.
movie. It's a great movie.
Yeah.
It's like your average Scottish wedding. It's boring for the most part, but there's always a chance of a fight breaking out or some drunken arsehole making a fool of themselves during their speech.
Like whenever he didn't punch a child about a decade ago.
Sadly, though, this year it was not to be. The 2025 Oscars were notable precisely because of their lack of control.
Oh, so they like Will Ferrell now?
No shocking wins.
Didn't Will Ferrell make a whole documentary about a trans person?
He just made a movie where he went with his good friend who was a writer on SNL.
Right. So now they're using him in a clip when they're talking about something cool, but he's like super like pro-trans. So that's really interesting. All right. Sorry.
Cheese or inflammatory rhetoric. Damn, man, even Mark Hamill managed to keep both his pants and his Trump derangement under control for the evening, proving that he truly must be a good actor because he can...
Damn, Trump deranged, huh? All right.
Yeah, they're throwing that around a lot when it's just like, is it Trump derangement syndrome just to report what he does?
He's criticizing. Yeah, not even just criticizing. It's like just saying something.
Yeah, so now it's just any sort of criticism towards Trump is Trump derangement syndrome. But I want to point out also, so Mark Hamill goes on the show and doesn't do anything they don't like, but they still take a moment to poke fun at him.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? That's
very
telling.
Let's give him this. At least he doesn't do like Nerdrotic didn't go after his child granddaughter.
That's true. Let's give him a little credit. He's not a total piece of shit
for that, I guess.
Also, I know this doesn't matter, but like, why didn't he get actual footage of Mark Hamill? Why does it look like he's pointing a camera at the fucking TV for this.
Because he does the least amount of work he possibly can to put these videos together. Actually, whoever his editor is does the least amount of work to put these.
Oh my
he doesn't do
God.
that. I'm pretty sure Critical Drinker doesn't sit at his desk and put these together. So,
Not to be a crazy person for a while. Conan O'Brien, one of the few late-night talk show hosts who isn't a creepy, manipulative retard, hosted with his usual laid-back, self-deprecating style, which was just as tolerably okay as you'd expect from a guy.
Wait, out of curiosity, what?
Oh, I know, because he doesn't like do whole segments in his stand or in his opening, or I guess because he doesn't really have a show, the late night show anymore. But like, yeah, the other guys, they all criticize Trump, right?
Yes,
that's what it is. It's just
that is the singular reason why they don't like people. It's like if you don't like Trump, you are grouped into literally the same bubble with these guys.
Yeah, how dare you criticize Trump, who is, by the way, the president of the United States, and absolutely should be criticized more than anybody else, as he's the most powerful man in the world right now.
100%. Yeah.
Yep.
Guy who's been in show business longer than most of us have been alive. He delivered a few pointed jabs at his fellow celebrities and one or two at the Orange Man, but most of his jokes were pretty safe and predictable and, well, fine, I guess. I have to admit, though, one of the most unintentionally hilarious moments of the night was watching Rachel Zegler waddle out on stage with Gal Gadot to present an award, looking like a small, petulant child reluctantly going clothes shopping with her mum. Honestly, putting these two together in public is like parking a Lamborghini next to a Ford Escort, and you could practically feel the hostility crackling in the air around them. The promo tour for Snow White's going to be fucking wild, man.
Oh my God, this Snow White shit is
What
ridiculous.
is there? Okay, so I have to ask. Look, and I need to sort of process this. This Rachel Zegler thing has gone beyond the point of like, what are they doing? It's very gross now. It's like very gross.
She walked on stage with her co-star in an upcoming movie.
Right. So
Isn't
she didn't
that
even do
gross?
anything that they have a problem with. They just have a problem with how she looked when she walked out on stage.
I mean, look, we're 2 minutes into the 6-minute video, by the way. So let's think about how much substance he's actually provided so far.
Nothing.
Yeah.
It's
No
literally
substance.
just like who said something about Trump and who didn't.
I think the Academy Awards, then don't. And then
He was in the group with all the people from this community, and they were like, "We need to make a video about the Oscars to get it into the algorithm." Okay, everybody make one. That's literally what this reeks of. It's just that.
It's Hollywood, baby.
In terms of the actual results, which I assume is why the dwindling audience still tunes in for this stuff, Anora was the big winner of the night with 5 wins, including Best Picture, Best Actress, and Best Director. And that's fine, I guess. It's a solid enough drama about a guy who falls in love with a stripper, marries her at a Vegas wedding chapel, and ultimately gets cold feet when he tries to introduce her to his family. We've all been there, bro. It's a decent little movie with strong performances.
You know, I
especially
kind of wish
from
I'd
Mikey
seen
Madison,
it so I could.
and a not
critique this.
particularly happy ending that feels quite brutally.
Yeah, I don't have any opinion about this movie.
Yeah, it wasn't exactly a life-changing experience. And if I asked ChatGPT,
Is that the chick from Once Upon a Time in Hollywood who got her fucking nose smashed in?
I don't remember. I know. Is it Michael Madsen? Is that her name? I think it's Michael. Madsen.
I believe so. I believe they're making a big deal about her being the first ghost face to get an Academy Award.
Oh, okay.
GPT to produce a generic Oscar-winning movie, then I'm pretty sure it would spit out something exactly like Anora, but
Mikey
whatever.
Madsen.
It was always going to be a safe bet, and I think that was a hallmark of the Oscars this year. Emilia Perez, which for some reason was nominated in almost every category that exists, was arguably the big loser of the night, with the only significant award going to Zoe Saldana for Best Supporting Actress. And I actually think
Her first one ever, by the way.
Delivered a good performance, even if it was in a shit movie.
Hey, we agree with Critical Drinker. This movie
I agree. Yeah, she was good in that movie.
It's amazing when he starts actually analyzing films and talking about films in a logical way. It makes sense instead of all the bullshit that he does.
Yeah.
I mean, I almost guarantee that he hates the movie for like the opposite reason from like he probably thinks this is really fucking good, positive
because of the trans stuff. Yeah.
And it's like we hate it for the trans stuff too, man. But like, you know, because it's really awful.
Very poorly done trans stuff.
It does make me wonder, though, if Emilia Perez was originally supposed to sweep the awards this year, but the organizers put their fingers on the scales after all the backlash to the film, and it's star. But Drinker, you suave tuxedo-wearing Hollywood legend, I hear you say, the awards are voted on by the Academy, and there's no way to influence their decision.
Yes, they're corrupt, Drinker. No shit.
The list, which
Yeah.
was basically 3.5.
That's not really a big secret. People have been talking about it for years.
No.
Ultimately paid off for the guy and netted him a Best Actor awards. It's the story of a Jewish architect who emigrates to America after the war and helps design a new library for.
Here.
Okay, so here's the thing.
Point
A
for you.
lot of the movies that end up winning awards or being in the Oscars are not these big blockbuster Marvel films.
Right.
They're
That's
No.
stories.
exactly like a movie that wins an Oscar.
Right.
Well, I
They're
mean,
stories. They're about people. They're character driven. That's typically the kind of movies that win Oscars.
I mean, we know for a fact how the Oscars work. You know, these things get nominated, they're voted on by the Academy, and then all of a sudden the Academy members will get gifts, being like, "Hey, thank you for your consideration of our movie." This is known. It's part of the issue with the Oscars. You're not breaking any new ground, Drinker. Do you want to try to break new ground? But do you want to actually dive into this? I have a feeling you're not going to. But
I like when he broke new ground by first releasing a short film, then changing it to being a pilot TV
Yeah.
series, and neither one of them worked to actually make anybody like the thing.
The Substance, which I think should have netted Demi Moore a Best Actress Oscar, not just for her work on that movie, which was fantastic, but as a kind of lifetime achievement award, considering she's been in the business for more than 40 years at this point. I mean, the movie did at least win for Best Makeup, which is obviously pretty well deserved, but it would have been nice to
real
see a
quick,
mainstream
pause it.
hit like that get a bit more
Lifetime achievement awards are usually reserved for people who haven't won. Usually, it's people who've been in the business for a while and haven't won anything. That's
Right.
what lifetime achievement is typically
just want to
for.
point out
Being
that
like,
he's, I think,
essentially,
about to-
you're great, you're awesome.
Here's your
He's about
participation trophy.
Oh,
He's
he's
about
gonna get
to
into
parrot
Reagan.
the fucking. He's about to parrot the fucking New York Post article.
Oh, really?
My God.
I
Oh
think
my
so.
It would have been nice to see a mainstream hit like that get a bit more recognition. As it stands,
Oh, never mind.
most
I
of the
saw fucking Dennis Quaid, and I was like,
Yeah.
oh no, he's gonna fucking say
Yeah,
it'd be
Dennis
nice.
Quaid was in
Dennis Quaid win.
Substance.
Okay.
the winners this year were the kind of low-budget, obscure movies that were only going to be of interest to people who drive for 14 hours straight.
That's the fucking Oscars, man. Like,
That's
that's
it.
the
Look,
movies that win are the obscure movies. Very rarely do Oscar movies end up being massive global blockbuster films. That's not the way it works typically.
Critical Drinker
So wait,
likes
he was
about
just
7 movies, and they all came out in the 80s and 90s. It seems like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like
Wait,
that's it.
he was praising The Substance. So I was like, wait, did he review that? Because that's not even like an indie movie or anything. That's a pretty mainstream
Right.
movie. So
Yeah.
and the answer is no. No, he didn't.
No.
I can find a whole bunch of movie reviews from other people, but not him. Let's
No.
see, is mine going up? Oh, that's right. I have
Critical Drinker could actually do a weekly movie review on everything. He just doesn't. He doesn't
Yes.
review movies like that. He's not Jeremy Johns or Chris Stuckman. He's not. That's not what he does. Even though he could get millions of views on it.
Look, I've gone to the trailer before I get to anything from him. Well, I guess I'm getting stuff from him, but yeah. Like, if you saw the movie and you liked it, why didn't you make a review of it, buddy? Like, you
Because that
actually
doesn't
have a
make
pretty
sense.
big platform. You could use it. You could.
You want better cinema, but you refuse to review the cinema you like, which would promote it.
Yeah. It's ridiculous. And I kind of hate this thing where I have to remove and then add the StreamYard need to fix your shit. By the way,
Do you
we got
have any-
127 people watching. Make sure to like and subscribe. Visit all the channels, guys.
Anyway, well, yeah, I mean, we're almost through this. Let's see.
you know, film festivals and pretend like they're enjoying themselves. As much as last year's Oscars focused on
Is he projecting? Just like, is it because
Wait,
you
wait.
don't understand these movies? Do you think people pretend to enjoy them? I don't know, man.
I really enjoy doing film festivals, bro. Do you think people just go there and pretend like they're enjoying themselves? Dude, like, there's some creative movies. And I kind of like the idea of just walking into a room, sitting down, and you don't know what the fuck you're going to get. And seeing
really
what
People
is.
that love movies would love to go to film festivals. That's the whole point of
Yes.
being somebody that
It
loves
really
movies.
is just becoming clear that their entire fucking goal, all these guys now, has shifted into Now we need to convince people to just hate everything coming out of Hollywood. You know what I mean? Unless it's like it's something that we can manage to work to our narrative or whatever. Like video games as well. You know, it's just all. That's what they're doing. That's the kind of the new version of the grift is just like or maybe that's what it always was, but like, yeah, man, it's becoming really clear to me now that they are just going to be doing this shit no matter what.
Big commercially successful crowd-pleasing movies this year did a complete 180, and I'm not entirely sure that it paid off.
They don't make the Oscars are not awards for commercially successful movies. That's not what it's ever been.
Worse than the previous year.
So, fun fact: most movies that do well, that are award winners that do well in the box office, do well after they win the award. Meaning, lots of times after they win the award, they'll come back to the theater, or maybe they didn't get a big release
or VOD or something like that.
Yeah, and that's when they'll make their money.
If you want to see award show for commercially successful movies, watch the MTV Movie Awards or fucking the Golden Globes, or like other things where movies are awarded for things like big box offices and things like that. That's not what the Oscars are about.
I mean, Oscars they usually give them off air, but they give, you know, like Suicide Squad won, the original one for fucking makeup or something like that in 2016, which was ridiculous because Star Trek Beyond came out that year and that obviously had better makeup.
Crawl looked awesome.
Movies win for shit like that.
Year, which was already a bit of a low point, and if I had to guess, I'd say that was mostly intentional. The Oscars acts as a kind of bellwether for the state of play in Hollywood and what we can expect from them in the year ahead, whereas previous awards have been filled with defiance.
Yeah, this is true. The Oscars fucking don't like animated movies either.
That's true.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's why they had to make a whole separate category for it, because they weren't
also horror movies
nominated in Best Picture.
The Oscars are extremely pretentious, but that's not really a new thing. I mean, it's never been hidden or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, there's obvious complaints to the Oscars, and I think it's kind of interesting how he's managing to actually kind of almost glance at them, but never actually hit any of them.
And political posturing and big extravagant rants against the dreaded Orange Man. The attitude this year was like a man that's been
you really won the defense for the Orange Man. I'm just saying.
Does he call him Orange Man because it's like a way to kind of deflect from the fact that he's completely fucking sucking his peanut dick, you know, on here by doing like,
if
you call him some Orange Man, there's some kind of like I don't know, benefit of the doubt that he's not just completely flating the guy.
Is an industry coming off a miserable year of strikes and disruption, followed by another year of disappointing flops and financial contraction, not to mention a US election that absolutely did not go the way they wanted. And if I'm right, 2025 isn't going to be much better for them.
Politics free channel, guys.
I believe South Park won an Oscar. Not just nominated.
I know it was nominated. I don't know if it won, but I know it was
For
nominated.
Blame Canada?
Yeah, I think it might have. I know that was nominated. I don't think it.
I also love the way these guys fucking frame shit. So it's like they accuse Hollywood of virtue signaling, right? They're like, oh, they don't believe anything they're doing. This corporation don't give a fuck about you. But then when the actors actually talk about stuff they believe in, they shouldn't say anything because then it's a problem for these guys. So there's no actual space for any of these people to express how they feel about anything without these guys sort of trying to draw a parallel to virtue signaling and also giving a shit and trying to like sort of getting their viewers, the people that watch their content, upset at absolutely anything that is said or done against Trump. That's the problem. Like, you cannot criticism at all. You can't be light on the criticism. You can't be heavy on the criticism. Like, they literally think if you say I didn't support Trump, that you are shitting on Trump and that's a problem. That's the level we're at.
True.
Year, like they were some unproductive employee that knows their boss is watching their every move and is desperate not to attract any more attention to themselves. And you know what? I'm perfectly fine
with that. Same Will Ferrell. That's the third time he's used it.
They got too big for their boots. They overestimated their own importance and cultural power, and now they're learning the hard way that they serve us. Not
what?
A few
actors serve us.
Wait. Is this like? Is he trying to frame it like the Academy Awards lost something, or is he just framed this all around the election?
I think it's the election.
It's clearly all about the election. Like, it's not even sprinkled in. It's just fucking jammed into very.
And he doesn't live here, right? He still lives overseas, correct?
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
So what the fuck? Why does he even care?
He's really interested in American politics.
Because a
Almost
lot of
like
his audience
that's an
do.
audience he's serving. Almost.
Yeah. Oh man, it really is fucking obvious how much he's just all part of the same fucking system of political grifters as Nerdrotic or whatever. He has to hit the Trump pro-Trump shit or defending Trump shit or making fun of Hollywood because they attaching that to the Democrats and saying they lost or whatever.
But then this is the same community that gets mad because people are blacklisted for supporting Trump in Hollywood. So what is it? I mean, do you want actors to be able to advocate for the politics they believe in and they should be allowed to do that freely without any pushback? Or do you only want them to shut the fuck up when they talk about the politicians you don't like?
I mean, that's the thing. Like, actor might get blacklisted for saying some bigoted shit online, but they don't get blacklisted for supporting Trump or being a Republican. Kelsey Grammer just had his Frasier reboot. Tim Allen has a new show.
So it really is just them being mad that some celebrities don't like Trump.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And fun fact, just a little bit of trivia. Lots of people in the arts have tendency to lean left. That's just the nature of things.
It's not new either. To act like it's a recent phenomenon or something like that is kind of crazy.
Not everyone, but lots.
There's a lot of them that don't lean really that far left at all, and they're really just kind of like the most fucking centrist libs you could possibly be.
I mean, if you look at the ones that end up leaning right after the fact or admitting to leaning right, they're usually not very good at art. Just to be straight up, there's very few that are.
Right, like if you think about all the people on the right that are like, that used to be
actors or singers or whatever. Yeah,
they spend most of their time fucking complaining about the left. It's because they sucked, and this is all they can do now. You're talking about fucking Dean Cain, Kevin Sorbo, fucking
Roseanne Barr, who ended up going off the fucking deep end. Hilarious when she didn't talk about all this political shit, but then went on the deep end and became unfunny overnight.
Key example of somebody who posted some bigoted shit, and that's why they got booted.
Hey,
Kid Rock was massive and then fell off.
So, I mean, I don't think he's really doing that well, man. Like he was
is
in
he
that
though?
Reagan movie, but other than that, like, what's he done?
Kid Rock had a lot of hit records prior to becoming a Trump supporter. Now nobody gives a fuck about him. I'm not saying they're good. I'm saying their relevance or their creativity just takes a nosedive once they start grifting. Grifting is so easy. It doesn't require you to be good at anything.
Just read ISOM 1.
Zachary Levi is another one.
Just learned.
Oh God.
Yeah. It's like as soon as some of their fucking careers aren't going as well as they wanted it to or whatever they expected it to, then it's like, well, clearly it's not me. I'm super talented. I was destined to be fucking successful. So it must be this fucking woke mob in Hollywood or whatever. And that's the grift, man.
They're mad that Rachel Zegler is the lead of Snow White, but Gina Carano can't get hired to work on an Angels film. So like
Jack Quaid.
That's where we are.
Yeah, Jack Quaid is not Republican at all.
We stand Jack Quaid.
Yeah.
Why? What? I mean,
but here's my thing. Even if you feel that way, that doesn't mean they have to feel the same way as you do, and that is okay. That's okay.
Part of freedom of speech.
Their place at last. In the meantime, though, it's going to be interesting to see how much more irrelevant next year's Oscars becomes.
It's Hollywood, baby.
It's going to be the same as it was this year. It's like,
yes.
I stopped it before he said the thing, so you're welcome.
Yeah, the message.
Right. Think about that 6-minute video, and like most of what it was saying was like, these people don't like Trump. I don't like when these people say bad things about Trump. Also they lost. The person that was their person that went against Trump lost, and that's good. And
okay, can I just kind of call something out here? Like when I walk away from a video that I've watched on YouTube, there's a couple of things that I like to think about when I leave. I want to either learn something that I didn't know. I want to hear someone's opinion on something. How would they have done this? How would they have done that? That video offered nothing.
No.
There was nothing to like, that was a waste of 6 minutes for him to even make. There was nothing to take away from that at all.
Like I said, he glanced at actual issues, but he never actually focused on anything. There was no substance to anything he said.
I mean, that's what the right is taking where there's actually issues all over the place in every area. Basically, they will kind of gesture to it, but then their whole grift and the whole point is to make you look at it as the wrong way, in a stupid way, in a divisive way.
Yeah, echo chamber porn. That's a really good term for that. Yeah,
I like that.
That's
Yeah,
definitely what it was. And whenever I see a video like that, that's the way it feels to me. I'm like, they are making a video specifically to keep the outrage churning in their community. It doesn't add value. It doesn't change the conversation. It doesn't do anything. So
no, it just keeps exactly right. It's to the upkeep for the fucking cult brain that these people have developed.
Yeah.
Or they've had cultivated in them, right? It's like you have to fucking trigger those fucking receptors every day, basically, to make them think about how fucking angry they are at the woke liberals or whatever, and how they're ruining everything. Make them feel like victims, even though they fucking won the election, and they're still acting like fucking victims.
Mm-hmm. Right. They don't know what else to do. I mean,
yeah. What else we got?
Yeah. So, have you guys heard of this fellow? Liefeld? Have you heard of this guy?
Yeah. Well, yeah. Can I play a thing real quick before you? So this is a teaser from a video that I've put up like a week or two ago. It's only like a minute or so long, but it's just the summary of an article that I read, or an editorial thing that I read about Rob Liefeld.
By the way, Dane has a fantastic video on Rob Liefeld that I haven't finished, but it's fantastic.
There it is. Okay. It wasn't the treatment that Rob Liefeld deserved. And that's true. He does not. I said at the start of this that I would keep my jokes to a minimum because this wasn't the treatment that Rob Liefeld deserved. And that's true. He does not. Ultimately, it does not matter that Rob doesn't know anything about torsion or that he couldn't find a second act to save his soul. These facts have not hurt this world or Rob Liefeld one bit. What matters is that every day, at every turn, Rob Liefeld goes out of his way to be a cruel, petty, self-aggrandizing nightmare. He treats his collaborators with contempt, his fans with derision, his whole industry with scorn. At the slightest provocation, Rob is seemingly prepared to ruin his entire career. I told you that Rob Liefeld doesn't deserve humor. This is because humor only distracts from the problem. Mocking his love of pouches or shoulder pads would only lessen the questions we're all left with. 1. Rob Liefeld is a marketing genius, whose name alone will sell any book he's on. So why can't he give himself away? 2. Rob Liefeld has squandered talent, friendship, and goodwill at every opportunity. So why does he still have a fan base? Ultimately, there are 2 Rob Liefelds. One is the genius, the rainmaker, the man of the every hour. A 51-year-old now, I guess 57-year-old millionaire who has redefined the very medium he works in. The other is a selfish, wounded friend to no one. A vindictive child fired from or bankrupted every publisher he's been a part of for 30 years. Every last one. There are 2 Rob Liefelds, and I fear the one who wins is the one we feed more.
All right.
Yeah.
Yes. I had that
article from
queued up, but yeah.
It's
but yeah, it's a good summary. So so he's doing a relaunch of not X-Force. But we're all really excited about it, and his 2 or 3 books he'll release a year, I'm sure. So he's doing a relaunch. But according to him, he will not release this to comic book shops because they are unreliable, according to him.
So what I'm wondering is all these people that last year or whatever were like, oh, the comic book stores are closing, exactly. And they had that one guy they were using as a prop for a while. Mark Millar jumped into it. I wonder if they're going to be praising this or if they're saying anything about this, because this is literally Rob Liefeld, one of the biggest names in comics, and he's shitting on comic book shops, just saying, they're unreliable. Fuck them. Where's the defense of the comic book shops at?
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, to my understanding, it always seemed like Comicsgate, which I guess technically Rob Liefeld isn't part of, but
only technically. I mean, if he wasn't rich, didn't have the name that he has, I fully believe he would be Comicsgate by now.
I mean, they like to make the argument, all these woke comic books are destroying comic book shops. Yet, wait, you're not going to release your book to a comic book shop? What's up with that? That's interesting double standard. Isn't your book supposed to be like the amazing thing that will break the comic book shop? Why won't you release that to a comic book shop?
No, because they realize they can only grift merch physically through their own shops. That's why they do it. They don't want to actually get involved in the comic book industry.
I think that RL Morales here is onto it. It's generally, I think the real thing is that, so for example, he did a Brigade relaunch several years ago, and it was a 6-year window from, it was like 5.5 years late from when he was supposed to get it out. It's like literally the most comic campaign you could have run. It took him 6 years to get out one issue, and he didn't even make nearly as much as like Comic Skaters will make on their campaigns and stuff. So I think that this is just him trying to fucking shield from the fact that he is not popular in the way that people will pay for his books, right? Like nobody wants to fucking support it. Nobody wants to pay for him. And yet he still has the name he has. People still fucking follow him for some reason. And yeah, so he's just trying to protect his own ego or protect his own reputation or something like that. So,
I mean, essentially, he's talked about how he's going to be distributing this via live stream. Gee whiz, I wonder if that sounds like anybody else. Oh God, he has multiple variants. Right? Jesus Christ, this is a Comicsgate campaign, isn't it? Looking into this, I mean, Jesus. Gold foil variant, sure. $160 for the gold foil variant. Is that at least signed? Jesus. Yeah, this looks awful. Rob Liefeld is. Do you want to know what the most disappointing thing about Rob Liefeld is? When he first started, if he had decided to really buckle down and hone his craft, I think he could have gotten really good. Instead, he just got successful as a shitty artist and just kept on doing shitty art.
Yep. Have you guys seen that video of Stan Lee just roasting him and Todd McFarlane?
Yeah.
You guys, I've seen both your videos talking about that video, so it seemed a little redundant for me to go over it. But yes, that was hilarious.
I mean, I literally did it
How
because
many
Eric
pouches does he have?
jealous. So.
But yeah,
Arling can at least draw. Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, you're absolutely right. But look at this. This is a new drawing. This is like this current era Rob Liefeld. What you're seeing here, and you can just, things are off. Like, look at, I think his name is Shaft on the right. Look at it. It's weird. Like your eyes kind of are drawn to like how his pecs are kind of off center or something like that. It's all fucking off and weird. And it probably took him a lot of effort to get this looking this presentable, I guess.
It's also too stiff. This drawing is too stiff. All the characters are like posy through the whole thing.
Well, I mean, something that caught my eye is that these guys are making like the exact same fist, like right next to each other, and that's
because he can only really draw.
It's like, what the hell? Yeah. I guess fists are easy. And yeah, that's what Rob Liefeld's learned.
But feet aren't. Fists are easy, but feet aren't. So
true. Everybody has like little tiny feet. But yeah, speaking, I believe, are we ready to talk about some Rippaverse stuff?
Yeah, let's do it.
Yes, so. But no, yeah, this is pretty fun stuff. But
what Rippaverse we talking about? The fact that he's lost another like 2,000 subs in the last 30 days.
Well, there's that.
We can introduce that, but yeah, that is not actually what I had here.
So you guys have been watching for a while. Do you remember like whenever we covered Isom or whatever before and looked at the comics and how like whenever he does a splash page, which is, for those that aren't aware, splash page is like generally it's a full page image instead of panels, and it's supposed to be like an action or at least something super interesting going on. And he's done splash pages of like a truck pulling up.
Right.
Way in the distance, you can't even really see it, but there's a truck tire right there in front, like a full fucking page, and things similar to that. Just this nonsense. It went further. He took it further.
Yeah, I have this little clip of video. I cut off before he gets to his opinion, so we can give our opinions. But, yeah, it's just very interesting.
Okay, folks, welcome to another review of Bloodruth #1.
Mike Partika.
We're looking at the famous double-page snafu this time.
Oh, this was awful.
Gosh. Get ready for this. Oh, and by the way,
what's fucking funny about this is that like it's almost like the Saskas almost did something kind of cool. The art, from just the glance I did of it anyway, it looks not bad. You know what I mean?
So like the double-page spread they made, it looks kind of cool. I'm like, okay, that looks better than other stuff they've done.
And then Eric July walks in. He's not even working on this comic. He's just, it's the Saskas and whoever the artist is or whatever. This is Blood Ruth. And it's like he came in and said, I got an idea. Let's make this really, really shitty.
If you don't know what snafu means, it means situation normal all effed up. It's a military acronym. They love their acronyms. And you will find it entirely appropriate for what I'm about to show you. What we're talking about, of course, is this double-page spread.
Which is actually kind of a cool shot.
Yeah, that looks badass.
It's a wonderful piece of art.
I think maybe the best art I've seen in the replay.
And unfortunately, they found a way to screw it up. It does not actually appear like this in the Blood Ruth book. Instead, it appears with the left half having been consigned to the right side of the book, and then when you turn the page, you see the remainder of it on the left-hand side. Oh my goodness. Now, how on earth did they
historically, the way that's done is you would turn the page and the whole thing would take up, that's a 2-page spread or a splash. And yeah, man, I what's fucking funny is that I think his narcissism wouldn't even allow him to just say, yeah, this was a mistake. We fucked up. The printer fucked up, or whatever it was. You know, he had to have some fucking excuse.
Yeah, we'll get into his excuse because here's the deal. So far, this is like, wow, that's a pretty big fuck up. What he should probably do is either ask people if they want refunds or reprint it and reship it out.
By the way, over the years, Marvel, DC, this happens. This kind of shit happens accidentally with the printers and stuff like that. It fucking happens. It's not something that would have been, probably wouldn't even made fun of him about it.
But he takes it to the next level.
This up. Well, Eric July did try to get out in front of this and offer his own explanation as to how this goof occurred. And it goes something like this. I may have screwed up just a little bit. Now, this scene, how the Saskas did it, they originally planned for it to be this double-page, like, spread or splash page or what have you. And I was looking at it.
If you're fucking if you started a comic book publishing company, you should not be talking about comics with this level of like just uncertainty of what you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
I also want to say, like, he gave them the keys to the car to this, and then he goes in and tells them to change the way a page is laid out.
Mm-hmm. But apparently, it looks better in the black and white version, guys.
Yeah, that doesn't even make any goddamn sense. But let's see what it says.
Especially with the black and white edition, which I do believe it still plays out a little better in the black and white edition than it does in the color edition. What if we were to go for this more cinematic look, as if you can imagine sort of the camera like panning? You see one part of it, and then you see the other side as it slowly pans, say from left to right or what have you. Now, again, I'm thinking this is going to play out cinematically. It's going to look real cool, because the next page you get the full reveal, right? And after looking at it, especially the color version of it, I don't know if it landed the way that I thought.
I want to say this. Wouldn't you be able to figure that out before it gets printed?
You would think so.
You could do this thing called, hey, let's go ahead and print one copy and look at it physically.
But I mean, even without that, Mike Partika here just showed like what the shot looks like as a full shot, and then what it looks like broken up. They didn't do that. They didn't look at it that way on a digital screen to see that it doesn't look right. They didn't. There was no checking up on it.
It shouldn't have even been an idea that he had, honestly, because at least should have gotten
it's
that
terrible
far.
idea.
If this is really what happened, then holy shit, do you need to fucking shut down the Rippaverse, man? Just stop doing it, because the fact that you thought this was a good idea, the fact that you thought that comic books, yes, you can actually do panning. Like if you go, best example I can think of, or at least one of the earliest, was the Ultimates, the original Ultimates, and as in the Marvel Ultimates, where the original version, Mark Millar, and who did the art for that? Fuck, I forget. But like it was done in more of a cinematic thing. That's where like the Avengers movie was kind of based a lot on that. And it was like, instead of a bunch of panels, they did more cinematic layouts, and it works as long as it's on the same 2 pages, because otherwise you're cutting. You can't pan and then turn the page. You're just cutting. It's like blinking and closing your eyes for several minutes while watching a movie. And then I don't know, man, it's fucking insane. He thought he was going to break the fucking mold of how you do comics or something, but no, sorry, man, but you have to. It does.
I'm confident. I'm confident he's full of shit here. I'm confident it's just a fuck up. But he cannot admit that, because if he admits that, then it's like when we have to start talking refunds and reissuing people, which he should do. He should do that. Oh fuck, we fucked up. Right. Here you go. But
I was wondering, movie
it's
say
an
something that
artistic
makes him look
choice.
so much dumber. This makes him look so much worse than the original thing.
Than just
Absolutely.
saying it was a misprint.
Yeah.
Like we just fucked up.
Yeah, there was supposed to be an ad in one of those pages, so it's supposed to be one page off, and we fucked up.
Well, no, he put the fucking ad as the first page of the comic instead of putting it at the end. So it threw off the page count.
So if he cut off that ad, then the whole thing would have done just fine. Oh
Yeah.
my god.
Yeah. So basically, from what I've seen, when you open the book up, like in the first 1 or 2 pages, there's a fucking ad for the young Isom statue. Which, by the way, if you purchase Bloodruth, you know there's a fucking young Isom statue. You know that already, because you have to go to the fucking website to buy Bloodruth. You're gonna see the ad for young Isom. Why is there an ad for a statue in a comic book that you have purchased direct from the manufacturer? Why? That makes no sense. So it threw off the page count. But instead of admitting that his dumb ad threw off the page count, he came up with this whole fucking excuse of this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's ridiculous. How much more do we have?
So this is what Eric basically wants you to believe. He wants.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's pretty much it. And yeah, I just find this absolutely fucking hilarious. Like, how do you do that? Like I said, it's one thing to fuck up. People fuck up all the time. And if this were actually some sort of legit indie comic book, then it'd be super forgivable. It's not. I mean, it's.
You can't. How many comic books has he made now? There's a mistake in every single one of them.
Yes.
Every single one of them. And this time it was so we could throw an ad up for a statue that is horribly underselling.
Imagine if he was actually trying to put comics out by monthly, right? Like, I mean, this is putting out like 2 a year, and they have these kind of mistakes.
Now he's doing like 2 a month. It's like he's got Zaylan coming out, I think, in 2 days.
What Zaylan? What the fuck is that?
I've never even heard of Zaylan.
It's a ripoff of like Superman and Green Lantern. It's an alien guy with like it looks like he's Superman, but then the logo is like Green Lantern. It's really weird.
Ebook. That's the thing, and that's the thing, and that's another. If they actually did digital comics, they could fix this. Of course, it wouldn't really be as much of a problem, but like actually, if it was digital, if you go into panel read mode or like zoom mode, you could do exactly what he described here, and it would kind of work because you don't even know that you're turning pages if you're in super zoom mode. You're just kind of clicking on the next panel to go to the next page, right?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I didn't realize that he put a young Isom statue. I guarantee that's what it was. It was a last minute thing where he was like, "Oh, I'm going to put, I haven't sold enough of these yet. I'm going to put an ad in the front of the new book. That's great." Yeah.
Without thinking about the fact that comic book numbering, you should probably put 2 ads in there just to keep everything
he doesn't even care. He doesn't give a shit.
Yeah.
By the way, StreamYard, I want to say this again. Having us remove something before adding it to the fucking screen is annoying.
Yes.
It's really annoying.
What do we have?
I wanted to show you guys this. This is the 1 minute. It's really quick. It's the teaser for the Zaylan thing.
Oh,
it's like a Superman ripoff by Chuck Dixon. So,
oh my God, he's having Chuck Dixon write everything. It's Chuck
because
Dixon
it's the only
Saskas
person he can
writing
get. Everybody keeps turning him down, man.
Yeah.
He doesn't have anybody. He's got Chuck Dixon and the Saskas, and then occasionally Mike Barron.
What?
Oh, what?
What?
By the way, the tagline is "What kills must die." What kills, must die is the tagline for this.
Stupid man. What? That doesn't make any sense. It doesn't mean anything. It's supposed to like elicit some kind of promotional thing or what? I don't know.
I mean, he did like he does these semi-motion comics things. The problem is they're really poorly done motion comics. Where, like
and
there'll be
So you see the logo on his chest. It looks like a just like a weird Green Lantern logo.
Is he even doing a motion comic here? This is
it almost looks like a Klingon batleth.
Page. Yeah.
Looks like what?
Klingon batleth.
Oh yeah. So there's the logo there, Zaylan.
Zaylan.
What kills must die.
Just a fucking limp fart. Like,
so it's Chuck Dixon and Joe Bennett again. Those two have done several comics for Eric now. So
that's how they're probably sustaining themselves with this shit at this point. Like,
I think he's got them locked in with some rate that works for him because it's probably very low compared to what he could be offering new people that are coming into the company. And so he's just going to continue to like do it. And they're probably at this point, if they're doing like 3 comics a year for Eric, that's all he really have to do. Most likely. I think they're probably just focused on that. Zaylan, the one killing, does that mean he will die already? Yeah, I don't know, man.
So like if you kill the thing that kills, do you then get killed?
Yeah, I think that's how it works. What are Zaylan's powers? I'm assuming he's just going to be a rip-off Superman. I'm just guessing. He's going to be fighting Brian Solari probably at some point because
he will have the
everything
powers
they do
of
is derivative.
Zaylan.
Chuck Dixon did a little podcast and was like, well, it's hard to create new people because everybody's powers have been used already. It's like, yeah, but you can be a bit more creative with it. You can be a bit more
creative, bro. Yeah, every single power has been thought up and done, guys. Didn't you know that?
You have to just be creative with how you give them their powers or come up with a lore that isn't literally just derivative stuff.
Okay, I'm going to have a guy called the Beetle who's been by a radioactive beetle.
Oh, Eric July gave the definition for accepts finally. Did you guys see that?
Oh, no. What was it?
I can't find the video now. It was a short, but it was like he said accepts are exceptionals. Remember, we knew that was what it was. And that it's anyone with powers. So that means if you're an alien or you're magical or you're like a metahuman or a mutant or whatever, you're literally just called that.
Oh, so that doesn't explain Isom still. He just like where he gets his powers, because I at least thought that if you're an accept, like it's somehow like a mutant or something like that, or inhuman. Okay, now we have an origin. Nope, still just
nope.
It's the same as a metahuman or
people with powers. Just anyone with powers is accept, according to him.
Stupid.
Well, anyways, hopefully this doesn't take us down. It's a clip from the Jubilee post, but
it won't take us down. But they're probably going to demonetize because of it, because I've had issues with them. So. We'll see.
We will see. It's just a little clip here. But
this
is Matt Walsh.
Yeah.
Sam Cedar is offended by her definition of American identity, but he has no alternative definition. This is how the left plays the game. They condemn your definition, but offer no coherent alternative. Their definition of everything is just not that.
I mean, that's valid though. That's still valid. You can be like that. That is not what it's supposed to be without knowing exactly what it's supposed to be.
Is that you can just define what it means to be American for yourself, right? Like you can just be American, and
it's like maybe you shouldn't jump off the top of that building or whatever. Well, what should they do? I don't know, but jumping off that building isn't what you're supposed to do. Well, I guess it's okay to jump off the building because you don't have an alternate. So let's look at this definition that he's defending. That is apparently valid in his eyes.
What's the problem with xenophobic nationalism? Don't you think that's better for Americans in general?
Like xenophobic nationalism is better.
We should have a coherent culture. Everyone should be a part of the same culture. We should have assimilation.
Which do you get to choose what the culture is?
We already have a dominant culture.
What is
based
the dominant
on European
culture?
And Christian values and identity. That is the dominant culture. It's rooted in European identity.
White. So your argument is that
has been the dominant culture.
Just to be
and
clear,
we're not letting people assimilate to that. We're saying you should keep your culture, and this is why our culture is so divided.
Your argument is that Trump is good for those who want a dominant white European culture.
I mean, that is what America is. It's rooted in European identity and Christian values. That's what it has been. Would you really disagree with that?
I mean,
I know Sam's going to say it, but like as soon as she started going into that, I was like, I was always taught we're a melting pot.
Right.
That's just a melting pot.
I was taught that we actually fought against England to not be the same thing as England. And, we're Europe. Like we came to come establish our own shit and do things the way we wanted to do it. Not just like have, I don't know, 1 foot in European culture for fucking the rest of time.
Yeah, the whole point is supposed to be, bring us your tired, your poor, your huddled masses. We will, we will integrate them into society, and we will all mix together and make a better society. To my understanding, that was supposed to be the dream of America. Are we achieving that? I don't think so. But that's the dream.
What is it then, if that's not the identity of America?
Well, I think the identity of
For the
America,
majority of time, America's been a country. You don't think that's been the identity?
well, actually, no. I think actually the identity of America has been, for better or for worse, a melting pot in that regard.
Yeah, maybe since like the 1960s. Even then, like
the 1960s? No. Holy shit. Learn American history. I don't know what else to say.
even we had this idea of a melting pot literally means assimilation too. It means melting. It means you're assimilating to the dominant culture. Is that not what?
They
No,
do that
it
by
does
like
not.
following our
No.
laws, shit. You know what I mean? That's what
Well,
the assimilation is like. That they go, okay, well, I'm gonna get a job and pay my taxes and fucking, like that's what the assimilation is. The rest of it,
well,
like,
yeah. The cultural stuff's just all supposed to get mixed together. That's the melting pot. When you melt something into a pot, it's not like you just make it like everything else that was already in there. The new stuff combines, and it becomes a new thing. That's what the melting pot's supposed to be.
bro,
Melting pot is contribution, not assimilation. I don't think they
I'm
seem
from
to understand
Texas,
that.
and we had fucking amazing Tex-Mex in that area, man. And that's just because of the melting pot. You know what I mean?
Yes,
Tex-Mex is
absolutely.
literally a product of the melting pot.
Melting means?
No, it doesn't
And
mean
now
that
instead
it's
we're
assimilating
saying there's something
to
wrong
the
with xenophobia.
dominant culture. No, I mean, look, I got to be honest with you. Like, you and I have a fundamental disagreement. We will never see eye to eye on this. It's a choice, and people. I think what you're expressing though is really what the Trump movement at its heart is about.
True.
And I think
I disagree. I don't think Trump's like anywhere close to being a Christian nationalist. That's ridiculous. Like Trump's basically a Democrat from like 15 years ago.
So
No,
you don't
wow.
think that he's
Right. So I what?
So
Trump
he's like
actually believes, I
Obama.
don't
She said a
know.
Democrat from 15 years ago. So
Yeah.
Trump is just like Obama, essentially.
What Trump actually believes, we can argue that till our faces turn blue, because I don't know and I don't care. I think Trump believes in benefiting Trump. That's it.
He believes in Trump and money.
But yeah, all he's doing is taking Heritage Foundation shit and signing it into law, which is super conservative shit.
conservative
No,
enough for you.
Oh, definitely nowhere close. No.
He's not xenophobic enough for you.
No, he's trying to import a bunch of H-1Bs. Are you kidding?
Right. Oh, so you want to get them out too? Yeah. No, I mean, I think you're making my argument for me.
So I want to share something
I think
about
it's
this.
wild. Matt Walsh shares that clip as if that's
The person here.
Yeah.
So let me share this.
The
here.
actual person. Okay.
Yeah. So this is
Oh wait, let me.
the girl that he was talking to is named Sarah here. She's got almost 82,000 followers. Cross in bio. She works for, contributes at least to Slightly Offensive here and Vigilant News. So I took a little look here. This is Vigilant News, essentially.
They're Nazis, aren't they? Are they Nazis?
Yeah. It's pretty much just a Breitbart type site. And then Slightly Offensive is an even worse version of it, where they just jerk off to their own shit here in defense of xenophobic nationalism. Sarah Stock humiliates woke podcaster Sam Cedar from Elijah Schaefer, who is another piece of shit. But yeah, this is pretty much, it's just all the same kind of nonsense.
I mean, part of me is like, oh, geez, do these people not know what xenophobic nationalism is? Then another part of me realizes how long I've been doing this shit and realize they know what it means. They're just nasty pieces of shit.
I think we're finally seeing them admit to it, which is something that I've actually wanted them to do for a long time. I want them to admit to this shit. It doesn't make it any better, obviously, but it just means that there's no more like that. Because the thing is, the extreme people have a harder time bringing in new people. So the more extreme you are, you're going to still get some people, but those coasters in the middle, they're not going to move to that. Mm-hmm. So you're just alienating that portion. This is why people like her have been kept out of the front lines of the MAGA movement for a very long time, because they realize it alienates people. It's why people like Heel versus Babyface doesn't really get to come on streams anymore. It's why Melanie Mack doesn't really come on their streams anymore, because there's a certain level of honesty that they cannot afford when it comes to their content. She's one of those people. There's another guy who was in this podcast who also kind of sort of mask off with everything that's going on. So I'm not shocked, but yeah, that's the kind of people they're rolling with at this point. So, Elijah Schaefer got fired from Blaze, so it's all just regurgitated bullshit, basically.
Yes. Yeah, no, there's something nice about being masked off, though it's also very frustrating, the amount of political power they now have, so... Yay.
I also want to say Jubilee doesn't do much for online discourse. I think it's interesting to listen to hear what people have to say, but it's very clear that now the people that have been on Jubilee for like 2 or 3 years have built up a social media following, and all they want to do is talk to the other person and spout off their talking points, because she wasn't challenging necessarily what his claim was. She just wanted to say what she wanted to say, and that was it.
I mean, that's what you're generally speaking going to see. Like, if it was an honest conversation, then it would be like, hey, Sam, what do you think about this? If that'd be an honest conversation, but obviously a setting like that, it's all meant for dunk points.
The right MAGA for several years now has used every time they like, let's have a conversation, let's debate or whatever. It's all pretense to push their fucking propaganda and their fucking, their party line without actually engaging any ideas or any kind of back and forth or anything.
Yeah. The other guy I was referencing was another dude on that stream that talked about how he wanted straight people to just, or gay people to just be straight. Trans people shouldn't be allowed to do things. Women should be subservient to their husbands and stuff like that. Basically just your trad wife, Christian fundamentalist bullshit. But again, Sam Cedar's point was those communities are going to thrive under Trump. So they weren't challenging that. They were just saying that this is what we are, basically.
True. I really hate the thing where you turn off your camera and you just disappear from stream. It's like, this is Dane's show now. No one else is here.
I got a new bass. Can I show that off? I got a new bass guitar.
No,
yeah,
you can't show that off. What are you doing?
Camera was acting weird, so let me
No, I've been doing the thing I usually do, where I turn off the camera when I play a video, but then, then I disappear and it looks like I'm not here anymore.
So I don't know what all y'all have left to talk about.
Well, I have about 20 minutes. So what do we have next?
Well, we can dive a bit into Thinking Critical and his nuanced.
I was hoping you were going to say that, because this is the one that I haven't seen. This is the one I haven't seen.
So apparently, Captain America in Ultimates number 10. I haven't read it yet. I meant to, but I didn't get around to it. But he says some negative things about Nazis in that comic book.
I can bring it up. We can look at it if you want to.
Sure. But, we can bring it up as we go dive into this. But here's Thinking Brain Rot's video on that.
In this camp, but it has gotten progressively worse and worse. And it's basically just a book about Dennis Camp's fake reality.
Real quick, just give my 2 cents. I've read the first 9 issues. I don't think they're all 100% amazing, but for the most part, it's a pretty fucking good series. There's
all
definitely
but about
some
1 or 2
issues
has been fucking phenomenal to me. And then even though those couple of issues are pretty good, but yeah,
there's a couple really big, like, dude, that Hulk Ultimates fight in issue 6, holy fuck.
Good shit.
That he thinks he's living in, and it's not really about the Ultimates. It's not about what Captain America would do in this new universe, or Iron Lad, or any of the characters in there. It's all about Dennis Camp and all his weird fears and fetishes about what's going on in modern society, which can be done well. See also Alan Moore, but in this case has been done very poorly. I did kind of enjoy it at first because it was so over the top.
Is he comparing Ultimates to Watchmen there? Yeah.
Seems that way. Seems so.
Top stupid, that it was fun, and I can enjoy something stupid and realize that it's not good and still have a general enjoyment of it. Especially the Gamma Island monstrosities. I really like Diaper Neck. I really like Crab Hands. I really liked all those stupid characters because...
Yeah, I find it interesting that he thinks that's hilarious, because the whole point of that was essentially how these people got mutilated because Bruce Banner was experimenting with gamma radiation, because Bruce Banner's a real son of a bitch in this Ultimate Universe. He is a piece of work. Yeah.
It was so far over the top stupid, but now it's gotten progressively more into the I'm fighting real Nazis today type of thing.
Buddy? Can you say it?
And I can't take it anymore. Issue number 10, easily the last straw. I never took the series particularly seriously, but at this point, I just can't waste my time anymore. And there are different, I guess, takeaways from the book. And this one's actually from Gabe Hernandez, friend of the channel, comes on the Aficionados every once in a while, good guy, reviews a lot of comic books. And this is the way that he describes The Ultimates number 10. The Ultimates 10 is a sickening turn for the title when the writer transforms a developing team of heroes into a death squad for sentimental and ideological reasons. Dennis Camp's poorly constructed script serves as little more than a platform for his fetish to kill those people, only marginally saved by Juan Fragary's cool art. At this point, Camp may need some type of intervention. And I think...
So when
they say...
I need to point out that the people that they're killing are Nazis.
I was about ready to say, the implication I'm getting from everything he's saying is that those people are Nazis. And yeah, I'm not defending them at all. Fuck them.
So he's done this before, just not as explicitly. Whenever during the Fall of X, whenever the X-Men, the mutants were like going to war with Orcus, which were not as explicitly Nazis, but definitely fascists. But he still was like, I can't believe they're killing mutants. The X-Men are killing these people. And it's like, well, they killed a few fascists. Yeah, the people that were like literally trying to wipe out the mutant race. Yes. You know, but that was still, oh man, this is if you want to look at, because I one thing with this guy is that he will always complain and tell you exactly what is going on in the comic, and almost never will show you enough for you to see yourself. And he definitely doesn't normally describe it accurately, right? Like, so he won't say that these, as far as I've seen, he didn't say that they're Nazis yet, even though he was showing images with Nazi stuff. So here's the issue, which I thought was phenomenal for a few reasons. But you want to know how to open a fucking comic book in 2025 and win me over? This is how you do it.
Is that literally supposed to be Hitler?
That's Hitler. And that was
so it's literal fucking Nazis. Literal.
The Human Torch. This is a flashback to the Human Torch killing Hitler at the end of World War II. Somebody, I think it's Hawkeye, asked, I thought Hitler killed himself. And Human Torch is like, that was just a cover story. The Soviets were threatening a superhuman arms race and screaming about illegal deployment overseas. Back then, we had this thing called politics. So they asked, how's it feel? I mean, killing Hitler. And he goes, how did it feel? My brain isn't the world's oldest computer, but it's close. In those days, I had to manually erase memories so it wouldn't slow down and seize up under the weight of all that history. I gave up my Medal of Honor and the memory of getting that Medal of Honor. I gave up good friends, good years, and most memories of my brilliant father, Dr. Horton. For a while, I played the piano, but even that had to go. But that memory I keep in full color and high definition. I go back to it again and again. It keeps me warm. And then Captain America says, all right, enough reminiscing about the good old days of killing Nazis. We've got Nazis to kill right now.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, they literally bust into this. This is the Red Skulls. And in this Ultimate Universe, it is the Red Skulls are a gang of fucking Nazis, as he is in these, Nazi in originals, always has been. And he is in this one, though, they've adopted the Punisher skull and as like kind of like their their Nazi symbol.
So I haven't read this particular run. Is Punisher a character, or is it just the Punisher skull?
He was in the 70s. They showed him at one point in like one panel when Captain America was unfrozen and learning about everything that happened over the last decade. And then so just showed him one time as like a character that did a short vigilante run in the 70s, but then he was captured or killed or something like that. But because he was who these Nazis used as like a inspiration, so they took his symbol and made it into this. Castletown is the permanent home of approximately 1,500 men, women, and children, as well as the current Grand Skull, leader of the National Red Skull movement.
Yeah, this is Nazi shit.
Yeah. So they're busting in here to try, and because they've gotten intel that they believe Namor has been held prisoner here. Who was, And then you got Iron Lad, who is literally having back surgery at the time that he's talking to them right now. But yeah, it's you know, they're killing some folks.
So this is what he's complaining about when he says it went too far. Is that what his? Okay.
Yep.
All right.
But
that's interesting.
Yep. Literally, Captain America doing what Captain America's always done.
Right. This is how he started. This was like the beginning of Captain America.
How's he killing happily? He's not killing happily. Show me where that happens, man. It's the mission, dude.
Yeah, I've never seen Cap happily kill somebody, but he does kill Nazis.
I will say it's a little strange because I talked about this briefly on, I don't know, did we talk about it last week or was it on my streams about like the code of ethics? I think it was on my stream of heroes killing, not killing, like where the line is on that and everything. Some people seem to think that all superheroes should just kill. It doesn't matter. You've got powers. You take the power in your own hand or whatever.
Batman should kill the Joker or whoever. Right. Also, that Captain America shouldn't be killing Nazis.
Right. So Batman murdering people for like petty theft and stuff like that would be totally okay, but this group killing actual Nazis is weird.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying, like I haven't read the run. I'm gonna have to read it, but
it's pretty good. There are some issues that are absolute fucking bangers. The Fantastic Four one still haunts me. Holy shit. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I like the artwork. The artwork's really good.
Yeah, the artwork's been really good as well. Juan Figueroa, I want to say.
So he killed during the war, but modern Cap tries to save lives. But isn't this war? Isn't that what this is?
Yeah, they're at war, man. They're revolutionary.
Okay. Yeah, I was just not trying to be confused about it.
Even in the movies, Cap was killing guys. So
yep. I mean, the easiest way to understand this version of the team, but which, by the way, this is not the original Avengers. This is the Ultimates from a different alternate universe.
Yeah.
For anybody that doesn't understand multiverse stuff, Eric July. You know, but like the fact is that you know, he's always killed Nazis, and they are revolutionaries in this version. That's the main distinction about this team of characters. They're not reactive. They are literally trying to start a revolution against the Maker's fucking, you know, authoritarian world that he's created here.
Yeah, and the Maker has this huge propaganda campaign against them, framing them as terrorists. So they are not seen kindly by the public.
Yep. Some really good art, though. So here we are fighting Nazis with laser guns. You know, he talks about how easily reality can be doctored. This is the kind of stuff, keep in mind what the stuff that Wes was saying about, like, oh, it's his fears and fetishes or whatever. And it's like, this is literally, they're talking about things that actually are going on. And you may say, okay, yes, you can say that he doesn't do it well when it can be, you know, it was done well when Alan Moore did it or whatever. But like, what is the thing that quantifies that? He didn't explain that as far as I know. He just, this one I don't like because it's against my politics, basically.
Mm.
You know, and they found that Namor's actually been dead for quite a while. They got him up on the wall there. And here comes the Grand Skull. At least 5 different men have held the position of Grand Skull. 4 died violently. Unknown identity of the current one. Anyway, I don't want to spoil it for anybody, Bob.
Yeah, no, it sounds really good though. I'm probably gonna read the whole thing. Is this on the?
It's only 10 issues in, so
I was gonna say it doesn't seem like it's a lot to read, so you can get into it.
I think they've already released the first collected volume of the first 6 issues.
Yeah. Go ahead and kill that.
I mean, overall, the books, the Ultimate Universe is pretty good, but like Ultimates and Ultimate Spider-Man are definitely the standout books so far. Mm-hmm.
Right.
Abe brings up some really compelling arguments there that what separates a superhero, a Captain America, a Thor, you know, some of the characters that we got in here, even a Hawkeye, although he was always a little bit more damaged than a lot of the other Avengers out there. And just like, I don't know, a hero like Arnold Schwarzenegger in Predator. What is that, Dutch? Where he's like murdering the shit out of people. His superheroes actually don't kill. But in this particular comic book, you've got the new Ultimates, and they just go and raid this compound because they believe they've got Namor there, but it turns out he's dead and he's been mounted on a wall.
Here, let me give this guy, because he wants to promote a shitty comic book by starting shit with that.
Yeah, I saw that.
Dude, your comic book is garbage. Your fucking streams are garbage. You're a fucking idiot. And the fact that you think that we're fucking bullying a black man for making comics means that you haven't actually watched or listened to anything we've actually said. The fact that you think that, I've been seen on EVS's stream, you know, so is Eric. That you're the one he's talking about. We both have, because I talked with him too. So, like, you don't understand anything you're talking about, man. You're just showing up talking out of your fucking stupid ass. And to go write your fucking shitty comic book, you moron.
Oh, shit. We've all streamed with EVS at this point. Shit.
Oh, guilt by association. The one thing they never, we were never supposed to do that. When we say there's guilt by association, all of a sudden that's a step too far. But when we go on to debate them, all of a sudden now we're also held to that same standard. It's weird how that all changed. It's really weird how that changed.
Weird, yeah.
So.
All right, back to this fucking.
Although he was
thing.
like killed by Atlanteans in front of the entire nation of Atlantis and then sold, I guess, you know, and even at one point, Captain America has a really strange line as the original Human Torch is reminiscing about he being the one that actually killed Adolf Hitler in the beginning, saying, you know, enough with the great stories about killing Nazis back in the day. You know, let's go raid the compound. And it's like,
That's
Captain
not what
America.
he said. He's intentionally obscuring the fact that they're killing Nazis.
He's also it's all hyperbole. Like we just looked at the pages. What he's doing is overreacting to the stuff that was happening in the comic book to make it seem more ridiculous than it actually was.
His whole thing is overreacting.
I mean, it's all very telling that he's very offended that they're speaking negatively about Nazis. I mean, you'd think even people who specialize in doing more dog whistly stuff would know. You know, they're literally saying Nazis. Maybe don't defend that too much, but I guess if we're gonna defend Elon Musk doing Nazi salute, this is the type of shit we do, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, acting like
lethal force if there's absolutely
yeah. Sorry, go ahead. We'll listen to it.
No other option to him. He certainly wouldn't feel good about it, even if it was Hitler. It was a really weird thing to say, but that's the thing. That's the problem. It really has nothing to do with Captain America. It has nothing to do with the original Human Torch. And it's just them repeating the same weird woke talking points that have basically turned a lot of longtime readers off.
So killing Nazis is woke now?
Yeah, I was about to say
killing
the
Nazis is
woke.
woke. So.
Hey, I have a thing back. Okay, so apparently it's woke to not like Nazis. I didn't know that. So
I mean, man, yeah, we are really fucking tired of Nazis, but apparently because there's so many of them that are popping up again these days, there needs to be more media that reminds people, hey, Nazis are bad. You know, you got fucking President Musk fucking Heiling Hitler and shit. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Yeah, we're tired of Nazis too, man.
Books. And it just happens over and over again. And the weird thing is, you're not allowed to criticize this book. You can't say that it's bad because it's poor writing.
You can criticize it all you want.
You could say
that. Maybe do it in a way that defends Nazis less. I don't know.
But if you're mad that they're going against Nazis and that's the premise of the book, that's not really criticizing the writing of the book.
See, the fact that you're fucking saying Nazis are low-hanging fruit tells me that you don't actually understand the state of the fucking country right now and the world, really. So I mean, that's cool, man. That makes sense why you're a Comicsgate fan.
You can't say that it's bad because it's poor characterization. You can't say that it's bad because it has nothing to do with the Ultimates. It's all about Dennis Camp and his weird fetish about what he believes is actually happening outside his window, which is clearly demonstrably not true. You will be attacked.
This guy, by the way, he lives on a fucking
literally
boat
is.
in the Philippines.
Yeah.
He lives on a fucking boat in the Philippines.
A little disconnected.
I find that a lot of the commentators that spout this stuff off don't even live in this country. They're expatriated or they never lived here.
Yeah.
That's wild. Yeah, he probably doesn't notice as much Nazi shit.
Okay,
He's living on
hold on. I got to call this out. So what would be the defense of a Nazi doing Nazi stuff that would make it viable for a hero to determine they're worth not killing? These are people that are rounding up folks, killing them, committing genocide, doing all of these things. What would be the reason a hero would say, hey, maybe I shouldn't do whatever I have to do to stop them from doing that? What would be the justification for that? Because we're not talking about someone robbing a store or something like that. We're talking about a group historically known for genocide.
Explicitly, their ideology is that they believe they are better than other people, and they want to, at the very least, take rights away from those people. But it never ends there.
Are we forgetting where Captain America fucking started here? The beginning of this character was propaganda comics going against Nazis. It was American propaganda comics going against Nazis. That is the roots of Captain America.
I mean,
so you can't say this isn't in character for him. It's literally the core of his character.
Lots of people have tendency to forget. Like, everybody was like, "Oh, America was all anti-Nazi back then." No, it wasn't. There was a pro-Nazi sentiment in America.
There's
Captain America was going against that.
After that book came out, where a guy showed up outside Marvel's offices. I think they weren't called Marvel yet, but Jack Kirby was working there. And he fucking called up and wanted Jack Kirby to come down and talk to him because he was a Nazi and he wanted to fucking fight him. And,
I think it's fucking weird, Dane. It's weird. Like, to say Captain America is out of character for killing Nazis?
No, it's literally, it's not a slippery slope. Whenever you have fucking firm moral fucking standards, dude, that's what you don't understand. That Nazis explicitly violate a very specific set of fucking morality, of ethics, of what it means to be a decent human being. Their entire purpose is to fucking kill and to remove the rights of people that they have decided arbitrarily and anti-scientifically are somehow beneath them. Right? Okay?
I don't think we should be making the argument to go easy on Nazism. Like, I don't think that's an argument people should be making. Especially when it comes to Captain America.
Yeah, the amount of people in chat that seem to be making excuses for fucking Nazis is disturbing.
Crazy, man. This is where we fucking are. Hold on. Yeah. Just give me a second here. People in the chat that are talking about this, is it because we are so far removed from what Nazis did that we are not looking at this from the perspective of this is actually what happened in history? Is that where we are now? That we're the comic book media.
Are you actually? Is this you in the picture, man? Because I got something to say about like you being a quisling. If you don't know what that is, you should look it up. Like
Captain America already killed Nazis, dude.
They're not going to.
It already happened.
You just because you're fucking defending them. Just so you know, right?
But I'm saying like he's already done it. Like we're arguing that him doing it in this comic book is out of character for him when that is specifically what his character did in the beginning of his creation.
That was literally the first cover.
He's
of a
not
Captain America
Spider-Man. He's not Batman. He's not these characters. Captain America started out as a American military propaganda against Nazism. That is where the character began. Red Skull was his original, like that was the big villain.
Motherfucker was punching Hitler on the front of the fucking.
What the fuck are we talking about here?
This is the most Marvel that fucking could be Marvel. You know what I mean? Like it's literally calling back to the first fucking issue of Captain America.
And having a no kill code, it's like it's up to the heroes pretty much. Like, yeah, Batman having a no kill code because he fears going too far, that makes sense for him. Captain America has never had this issue of sanity Batman has had. Captain America has always had a very clear moral compass. It's one of the defining characteristics of him. And he, with his clear moral compass, looks at Nazis and say, I can deal with killing them.
I'll be honest. Like, there's a line for me of like how much I'm willing to put up with when it comes to like discourse. But the fact that we have people in the comments defending not killing Nazism and people that are committing these genocides is fucking weird.
You're a fucking moron if you think that being a leftist means not criticizing fucking black viewers. If they're fucking, I don't care what color they are, if they're fucking saying stupid shit and defending Nazis and fucking, fuck off, dude. You're a fucking moron. All of you are fucking morons and you're comic skaters, I can tell. Somehow, one of you comic skate fucking channels got a hold of us and saw that we're streaming talking about this fucking comic and this fucking big-headed freak fucking moron on the screen right now, and you came up to fucking defend him and to fucking do Nazi apologia. Fuck off. Fuck off. You're not welcome here. Why do you insist on going somewhere that nobody fucking wants you? Fucking goddamn. Oh, God. All right.
Dana's returned. Dana's returned.
Yeah, get on here and get some shit out, man. I'm sorry. They're marginalized, so shut the fuck up. Fuck you, man. They're not. I don't give a fuck if they're marginalized, but they're fucking simping for an ideology that is against them. So you know what? I'm just gonna say that they're wrong.
Is he talking about Niobe or the other person? Who is he talking about?
Know. Would you fight me? Fuck off, you fucking retard! Get the fuck out of here, dude.
I mean, I kind of assume it's a Niobe alt at this point, but
yeah, it probably is. Would you fight me?
Yeah.
I don't know if they were talking about Niobe or not, honestly. but
real quick, we did get a new membership during all that rant, and then Jack Seasley did come in with a super chat that I wanted to bring up real fast before I forgot. Do you think Marvel Comics should do Crisis and Infinite Earth? A little bit off Nazi stuff, but my vote is no. The reboots are DC things, not Marvel things.
Well, Marvel will just do what they did with the Ultimate Universe. They'll just start another universe and tell stories in that universe.
I don't
think Ultimate Universe.
They've never done it. They did Secret Wars in 2015, and they did it in a way that didn't actually. They had some. They realigned some things, but nothing was like taken away, which is a problem. Whenever the DC's done that in the past, especially infamously the New 52, when they literally erased so much history of the characters that people had grown attached to. And said, okay, well, none of that happened. Now these characters have only been around for 5 years, and all the shit that you've read doesn't matter anymore. That pisses people off. That's what the Ultimate Universe is about. That's what the Absolute Universe is about. That's what is saying, okay, we're going to start again, but we're not going to take away the continuity that you've grown to connected to or whatever. So.
And what I really like about the Ultimate and the Absolute Universe, I guess especially Absolute for this, what I'm about ready to say, is how much liberties they're giving the artists to do what they want with the heroes. Just kind of, you have the groundwork, do what you want with it. And I really like the Absolute books so far have been really good. We'll see how the future Absolute books are. Absolute Martian Manhunter by Dennis Camp, though.
I'm sorry, man.
What the fuck?
We're speaking for black people, apparently.
Yeah. What? Wait, hold on. What?
No. Yeah, I'm banning him.
When did we do that?
We didn't. He's
the utter fucking delusion, man. It's insane.
Yeah. My God, I did not realize this would be such a controversial segment talking about Nazis here. Nazis are bad, guys. Just saying. No. Watch. Rip a
hey, by the way, I know I've got
like, oh my God. Oh my God.
My audience, I know I've got quite a few black people that watch regularly. I'm sorry for speaking to you or for you. Yeah. I'm sorry for speaking against your whatever. I guess you're agreeing with this Nazi shit, right?
You know what's funny to me, man? Like, is we've reached a point now where we have these fucking chuds coming in, getting upset that we're being critical of someone because of their skin color.
Yes.
Can we just give us allow your head to wrap around that for a second? That's crazy to me.
We're not being critical because of their skin color.
No, but that's what they're accusing us of, is what I'm saying. Like that's the accusation. Which, if you flash back 2 years ago when we were making those arguments to the people they watched, no, there's no way. They're just voicing their opinion. But now they're in here telling us this shit. I'm like, what the fuck?
Group of people. I'm speaking about ideas and fucking beliefs, man. That's
it's just fucking funny to me, man. It's funny to me. Like, I can't tell you the amount of comments that I got where people are saying stuff like that. And it's like, when did that switch happen? When did they become the thing that they accused us of being? When did that happen?
They don't believe anything. It's all just like saying whatever the fuck, lets them have a rhetorical win, or at least feel like they won in the moment, right? That's all it is. Oh, by the way, somebody pointed this out. I forgot.
Fuck off, Hitler.
Oh, yeah.
Also,
yeah, I didn't know.
G.I. Robot is detecting unease. Could he be, G.I. Robot asks, in fear of being discovered as Nazi scum?
Yeah, it's Jesus, man. I feel like we have roped around. I don't know what you call it, but it's been like a
it's my fault for reading comments, guys. You probably were enjoying me not doing that.
Dude, I still can't believe the comments we were getting, like making excuses for fucking Nazis. I'm sorry, guys. If you're making excuses for Nazis,
I checked. It's not all my channel, so I'm not taking responsibility for all of it. It's not all my channel. So,
Yeah, I was trying to see if it's mine. I was also trying to see if I could, because I haven't been really regulating it. So I was going to regulate it. And then
Well, I just turned on. I forgot to turn on sub mode.
Oh,
so
here,
if you want to talk,
okay,
if you want to
found
talk
it.
shit, you got to subscribe.
Is that what it is?
I am doing the exact same thing here.
Is Kanye actually making some black folks think, you know what? Yeah, the Jews do, or whatever. Like, is he, or is he allowing them to be fucking Nazis? Is that what's happening? I don't know.
Yeah, that sketchy. That person switched. They flipped up. The thing is that what happens in the grift space is you attach yourself. A lot of these guys leech on to other people. They'll go on their streams. They will peddle whatever it is they have until that person becomes useless to them, and then they'll find somebody else to do that with. And right now it's sort of like you're going back and forth between two groups because no one's getting along. And so they want to like project all that shit on everybody else. Like, I'm not allegiant to anybody, so I don't give a fuck about any of that.
Yeah. Hilarious to me is Comicsgate is essentially, it doesn't matter anymore. Not that it really ever did. I mean, there was a time when it was, you know, there was a risk of them like becoming so popular that they had some kind of, you know, influence on the industry or something. That did not happen. It did not come to pass. It never will. Comicsgate is so fixated, and I'm proud of them for this. I'm like literally just very, very happy that they decided to start aiming mostly at Eric July and then at Geeks and Gamers and Nerdrotic and all these other guys. Now they're aiming at guys that are, you know, essentially been doing the same grift they've been fucking doing for years, and they're just fighting amongst themselves. They don't even fucking, they don't matter. They've been neutralized, and I give us some credit for that, actually. So good job, guys.
Yay.
Well, the infighting is pretty prevalent between those guys now. It's just you sit back, like some of it I don't even understand. There's some stuff going on right now that dates back years that they're arguing about that I'm like, I have no clue what this is.
You got to be real deep in the lore to follow any of that stupid shit.
But I do have to jump out of here. But I got the gist of this. I really wanted to see what this was. So defending Nazis and Nazism is a big yikes.
Not mentioning that they're Nazis that they're killing either. Just like,
right.
Yeah. It's kind of telling, man.
But I turned up the volume on my sub thing. So if anybody wants to talk shit, they're going to have to sub for like 30 minutes or something. So you guys are probably good for now. But anyway, I'm going to jump out. Everybody watching on my channel, if you're not subscribed already, please sub. You know, because I make content all the time and it's really good. So head over there. Anyway, I'm going to jump out. I'm going to drop out, but this time it's not just me turning on my... Wait, is it going to do it when I do this? Oh, wait.
I turned it back on. I turned avatars back on, by the way.
Oh, was it off? Was that what it was?
There's a setting?
Yeah. If you go into settings and then go to general, there is audio avatars is under shift videos for comments and banners.
Oh, I was wondering why my avatar popped up. I thought
I think I might have done that last time I was on or something like that. And yeah, sorry.
Okay.
Oh, anyway. I just know StreamYard's been glitchy as Dane. You should just shut up and let StreamYard take the blame. Okay.
But anyway, I'm going to jump out of here. If you're watching from my channel, continue to watch. I guess you guys got a couple more topics, probably, maybe. So still gotta watch these guys.
But yeah, this is a big one.
But and I'm going to make sure that this doesn't close out the stream. I don't want to do that. So anyway, I'm out of here. Everybody, have a great night. Bye.
Bye, Eric. Have a good one.
All right. Do you want to go a little bit deeper into this, or you got the gist?
No, because it's the same thing as every fucking Thinking Critical video where he just glosses over what actually happens in the comic and then just rambles about, you know, like the delusions of the writers or whatever the fuck, and calls that bad writing.
Well, I mean, this is the most eye-opening one though, because this is literally just him like defending Nazis. It's like
this is more fucking masked up than I've ever seen him.
Yeah,
for sure.
It's like, the fuck are you even doing? No,
it's crazy. I did have a. There's a video by there's a guy named goes by Parker Get a Job, his YouTube channel, and he's actually somebody that appeared on the Jubilee segments before as a Democrat or left winger or whatever. And I happened to watch this video earlier, and I just thought about after, you know, with all the Trump praise and shit like that, and it became clear we need to watch maybe some of this, because I think this kind of gives away the mindset of a lot of Trump people. You know what I mean? Maybe not even the most, like, because there's the hardcore MAGAs, right? Like they're fucking, you know, but then there's people that aren't so hardcore MAGA that are still like, they voted for Trump. You know what I mean? They fucking will defend him. even if not as hardcore. But and so to me, it's interesting to understand what's going on in those people's brains. And this so what he does is he has these streams where he just lets people call in, and I've thought about we should do something like that maybe, but probably go fucking off the rails just based on how it goes reading comments.
Okay, so it's muted. It's not letting me unmute it.
My bad. Yeah, because if you don't mute the screen share whenever you do a drop, it will fucking echo the audio. I'm trying to think, is this? No, this might not be the same one. Let's see. Might have found the wrong one. I think okay.
I did. Looking at the big picture, I want to hear from you, and I want to understand from you, because you ask a lot, what policies do you like? What do you see? What do you see? Do you see anything positive about Trump? Anything that he has done since he was president, since he wasn't president, and now that he's president again? Is there anything that you can say, that you can honestly say that you agree with?
You remember whenever we had fucking what's his name, Frog Tony on to defend his claims about Sweet Baby Inc. and stuff, and by the end of it, he basically was just like, I don't know, I don't really, like basically half backing off of everything that he had said when challenged just a little bit. This is basically how this call goes with this woman, and it's just it's revealing that like she's still like, oh, what I don't know, I still but.
And then, sorry.
No, I was just going to recognize super chat. Thank you for the super chat. Do we think in a few years' time Trump's supporters will be seen the same as Nazis? I don't know if it'll be in a few years' time, but maybe 50, 100 years.
I mean, look, I don't know necessarily know at this point, because they haven't. They I believe that if led that far, they would most of them would probably be on board for whatever the fuck
a disturbing amount of them would be.
Right.
Yes, there will be ones out
there yet. They haven't gone that far yet, but I mean, I also don't want to let them get that far if possible.
Yeah.
But I mean, that I do believe that at this point they've shown that they are beyond reason. They are driven by otherism and this fucking insane extremist tribal, xenophobic, misogynist, fucking homophobic mentality that there's no reasoning with them. And no, I don't want to fucking kill anybody, man. I don't want to go to war or anything like that. And I probably won't, because I'm fucking too old. But like, if shit breaks out, then I don't know. I'm not going to feel bad for any of them that end up getting fucking clipped for, trying to hurt marginalized people or anything like that. Not really. I mean, I might feel, I don't know, man. It's hard to say, because I don't like the idea of anybody dying but like, if push comes to shove, you got to fucking, protect people and take care of the people that or get rid of the people rather that are just being irrational and murderous, I think. Anyway.
Yes. On with the video.
Just one more thing.
Operation Warp Speed.
What is that?
That's like the fast track for the vaccines, the development of the vaccines.
Okay, and besides that, Parker, anything else? Yeah, anything.
Him trying to get a deal done now for TikTok.
I know you love that one. What about him trying to end the war? What about
he's
that?
Not trying to end wars. He's trying to expand the U.S. He was talking about possibly using the military to take places like Greenland and Panama and utilizing economic sanctions in order to economically coerce Canada to join the United States.
I know, I heard that, but let me ask you this: What if he is?
That's I think they do that a lot. These types of people, where they're like, yeah, I know that there's this thing that's really stupid and shitty and crazy, but like, what about? And then they just ask some other thing, like, or they go to some, it's like there's something that doesn't click in their brain that doesn't allow them to stop, or they don't allow themselves to stop and analyze the thing that was just fucking said and how fucking insane and the fact that it literally goes against, as she says later on in this too, she's like, I don't like all the war and stuff. And it's like, okay, but you glossed over whenever it was pointed out that he's talked about using the military for this and this and this, and you don't even stop to think about that. You know what I mean? So there's some kind of disconnect there. It's weird.
Is able to end the war in Ukraine and Russia. What if he's able to get that accomplished? Is that something that you will agree upon was a good thing?
If he could actually end it in a manner that was like meaningful, right? What I think he's going to do is going to secede more like power to Russia, because it's going to allow for Russia to reload and reinvade.
You're talking about to take over that portion of Ukraine?
Yeah, just to reload and reinvade. Yeah.
So you think he has an agenda behind it?
Yes,
it's not just to end it. Yeah. And then let me ask you, why do you think personally why do you think she didn't win? Why do you think by a landslide? What do you think the reason is? I mean,
it wasn't a landslide.
Besides the fact I know you've said in the past, you know, the stupid.
Yeah, I was kind of frustrated he didn't catch her on that, because it was not a landslide.
Trump won with plurality, not a majority.
It's a good way to put it, but you know, these people, I don't think they understand that. Those words.
What would you say you think is the main reason she did not win?
Kamala Harris?
Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah. Because people attributed inflation to the incumbent president was without reason.
Well, that was something that people kept
correlation
talking
causation
about.
fallacy. And secondly,
Right.
And then also we can reference, obviously, I think that like there's a vast amount of society that's racist and misogynistic. I also think that it's important to acknowledge that in terms of this particular election, that people were heavily skewed in misinformation because of social.
No, you're not, man. There literally is fascism in the U.S. You don't know what that means. Also, you don't know what my fucking morals are. Apparently, if you think that you're holding me to them, you're just wrong. You're incorrect. Are you just like another alt from fucking Niobe or something? Because you're not welcome here, man. Go make your shitty comment.
You got to him before I could ban him.
Fuck. Oh, okay. I thought I accidentally fucking.
Social media as well. So
Yeah, well, going back to what you just said about one of the things that I heard, at least what watching watching this with you, you do hear continuously that when you ask that question, why did you vote for Trump? I don't know if it's everybody seems to say over and over the same thing, which is that the economy did better under 2016. Which it's
2016 the economy was good.
Well, 2016 the economy was good, but the fact that
so who was president in 2016?
Well, I know Biden.
What?
No, Obama.
No, not
Jesus
Biden.
Christ.
Oh my God, you're gonna confuse me now. 2016. That's when who was before him?
Oh my God, are you serious?
There, but in a different role.
No, I know. What's his name? You're gonna kill me. You're gonna make me look stupid. I know. I just can't think of it right now. You got me crazy. What's his name? I loved him. What's his name? Come on, Parker. Just give it to me this time.
Trump says his name with his middle name.
They were just talking the other day. That was the cutest little thing at the funeral. What's his name? Oh my God, you guys are mean. Let me. Okay, I'm gonna remember. It's gonna.
You're not even looking at the chat.
Right now, I'm exhausted. Sorry. Go ahead.
Look at the chat.
Look at the chat, you dumbasses. Basically,
Anna,
what they're
thank you so
calling
much for the $3. Yeah.
No, they're telling you.
His
Yeah,
name
I know.
His name is Barack Obama.
Yeah, I know. They're telling me. But let me ask you before, because I know you're going to want to hang up on me soon. But let me ask you one more thing about because you were talking to this guy before about immigration. You mentioned that how would we know, right? So how would we know somebody would?
I believe that she probably did. I was thinking about this the other day. I think there are a lot of people that voted for Obama, and not to say that they're, and in their minds that was like, all right, I'm going to give this black guy a chance, right? And then whenever he didn't do whatever it was that they imagined, and then obviously he did promise a lot of stuff he didn't end up doing as well, but he also was restricted at many levels intentionally by the Republicans. But like still he didn't, it's not like he changed people's lives for the better for the most part, even and then if you're a Republican and in a red state, the fucking Obamacare didn't do anything for you because the legislators in those states prevented it from having any kind of real effect on anybody. So as far as they knew, Obamacare was just some fucking bullshit. Even though you go to a blue state, it definitely has an effect, when they allowed the things to take place. So I think there's a lot of people that just like they voted for him, but they're kind of racist, but they were like, I'm going to give him a chance. Maybe he'll do whatever. And then their lives didn't change substantially, and then they're like, I fucking gave that black guy a chance. Now I fucking, like it reactivated their racism even more or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I think there's some kind of nuanced racist shit happening there with some of these people.
Yeah, I mean, it has been studied, the Obama-Trump voter, where it's like, how do you vote for both of those? It's a little baffling. I don't know.
Yeah.
And so on and so forth.
It sounds like that's what their process is, because they
Well,
have
I mean,
no
it would
defined
kind of
process.
right, because how else would we know? But my I guess it's more of a question for you. How about when they try to get a job? Wouldn't we know?
I mean, yeah, people were sick of Bush, but they couldn't vote for him again. Why didn't they vote for McCain is the question, or Romney the second time? You know, I don't think it's just because Obama was slick.
At that point,
What do you mean?
I mean, when they try to work, I mean, they have to have you when you're going. When you're applying
So
for-
what if they're going to be employed under the table? That means that they're not going to like register their employment. So what you're actually going to do is you're going to create, by doing that, you're going to create.
Another thing she does here in a minute that I wish he would have pushed back on is she uses the open borders thing. She's like, you can't be for open borders, and it's like, really very few people actually are for that. And in fact, Biden was not for that. His policies were not open borders. We did not have an open border. I don't know that we've ever had. I don't think we have ever had open borders, and I don't think anybody was.
I believe back in the early days of the country, we did.
Okay.
Like it has been around for a while.
Okay.
It has been around for many people's lifetimes.
Yeah, allowing the right to come up with these kind of concepts and these fucking stupid thought terminating cliches that they use, and then not pushing back on them at every fucking chance is part of why we lose. You know what I mean? Because they get low information voters to buy into these concepts like open borders when it's like that wasn't happening. Just because people sneak into the fucking border, which has always happened since we've had a border, does not mean that open borders. They were literally catching people at the borders. Literally,
same way. You can't sneak into an open border because it's a fucking open border. You just walk across.
Worse conditions for undocumented immigrants that are in the country, because then they're going to have an even greater threat of being deported.
But do you want that? You don't want them. Okay, so what resolution do you see? Because you can't tell me, you cannot tell me that you agree with open borders or allowing everybody to just come in and get a job and become over time, because there's no way that you're okay with that. So what resolution do you see to at least slow it down? Because you do have to admit that under Biden you cannot tell me that.
I'm definitely for bottlenecking people coming over the border at the rate that it's been going on, because for the main reason being that it is not good for them. There's we're not set up for the that kind of influx of people. But I mean, the people that come over illegally and work, and there's plenty of them that come and work for a season and go back to where they're from and then come back once a year, right? They pay in to taxes. They pay in, but they don't fucking receive any benefit from taxes. They don't get Social Security. You know what I mean? They can't get any kind of like state benefits like welfare, food stamps, or anything like that. So they literally pay into the system. They contribute to the system. They also do jobs that, generally Americans don't want to do. Low wage fucking shit, working out in crops and fruits and vegetables and stuff like that. But then, yeah, the main harm, in my opinion, is how they're harmed by the system as they're come in and caught and fucking put through these, immigration systems that just aren't, it's not sustainable.
It was out of control, right? I mean, we know it. We know the numbers were higher than ever.
You mean in terms of borders?
In terms of people coming over illegally, right? I mean, it is.
So again, in terms of people coming to the country like undocumented, right? I think that more people were incentivized to come to the country because of economic insecurity that exists around the world. I don't think it's because of any policy the Biden-Harris administration passed.
Well, do you think it's because also the encouragement from that administration and the fact that once they became legal,
Kamala Harris said, "Do not come."
No, she did. So, but again, I'm asking you, what?
Dude, no. Do you understand that the farms, the companies that employ them choose to employ them knowing that they are illegal, right? That these companies are doing that intentionally, right? It's not slavery. I mean, if you want to call it that, yeah, I mean, I definitely think they should be paid better wages. I think everybody should be paid better wages. You know, they should be able to be documented if they're working and contributing and stuff like that. I mean, no. How are they? If they're undermining their own farms, you need to talk to farmers about that. It's not me doing it. So I enjoy reading World War II stories, but inferring the Punisher logo to equal Nazi, being non-hardcore Democrat equals Nazi is ridiculous. That's not anything anybody has done.
I was actually just going to thank him for the super chat, but not go through it because you're just making up arguments at this point. You know what I mean?
Nowhere in the book that we looked at was there anybody saying that if you're not a Democrat, a hardcore Democrat, it's literally was a gang of people that had adopted the Punisher skull, which, you know, can be seen as a fascist fucking symbol. And it was Nazis adopting that, co-opting that symbol for their own ends. You know, and that's because it's easy to do. It's easy to see that. If you've ever read comics, man, like, and another issue is that, I wish that our neighbors weren't our enemies in some cases, but in some cases they've made themselves that. A lot of people in America have allowed themselves to be radicalized by misinformation and bullshit. And now they are fucking anti people that I care about, you know, and anti-rights, and the country's going down a bad path, man. They've been labeling us as enemies since they started fucking calling anybody that disagreed with them SJWs and woke or whatever. That's where the real labeling of our neighbors as enemies fucking began. At a certain point, if you're the person that's been called that for years, and then the resentment and the fucking hostility has built up to, you know, where it's at now, you have to adopt a defensive position. You have to adopt a position of like, okay, well, I will fucking defend myself if you're calling me the enemy and you know, labeling me as some kind of like anti-American fucking, you know, whatever. But yeah.
What do you see as a resolution? What would you do as a resolution to ensure that we really can slow it down? We don't want that. Nobody can honestly say, I don't care if you're a Republican, I don't care who you are, say that we want open borders. We don't want that. Now, we want people to be treated fairly. We want to help people. I understand that. But there's got to be a way to fix this. There has to be. We have to think about that. We have to think of a way. I want to know what you think.
So a way to fix this, you know, that'd probably be through a policy, right?
Mm-hmm.
What were any of Trump's policies for this?
I don't know.
There was a bipartisan border bill that was being passed through Congress where Donald Trump called people in Congress to not pass that bill.
Yeah, and he stopped it, didn't he? He stopped it.
And that he called people in Congress to undermine that bill.
And I think that he thought it. See, that was, I know, and that was something that he got wrong because he understood it wrong. At least from what he was saying.
Thank you so much for the $5. Thank you so much, Anna.
Yeah. So a policy, and what would this policy look like? I want to know more.
The bipartisan border bill, it already was in Congress.
And you think if that passed, that would have
been way better for the border? Yes.
Yeah. And you think if somebody does, your opinion on somebody coming in, you know, illegally, right, for a better life.
Imagine that being your defense of Trump, of him, you know, telling them to shut down that bill, that he just didn't understand it and still wanting him to be president.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like,
yeah, I mean, that'd be my approach to this point. My approach to this point would just be to drive home the point that Trump killed that bill. If he was actually concerned about the border, that bill would be something he'd want passed.
If you don't see the problem, go watch my videos, man. I've got videos on this. You can go check it out. I think you just kind of are here to just disagree with this, and you come off like a fucking moron, to be honest with you. You got, you know, you haven't said anything that makes me want to fucking kick you out yet, but like, you're getting there with your fucking partisan bullshit. You know, you don't know what you are actually talking about. If you want to have a disagreement, you can come on my stream Friday. We can have a conversation. But yeah, just sitting here fucking sniping every single thing that's said and disagreeing makes you seem like a little bitch.
You think that we should not send them back, no matter what. We should put.
All right, Stalin. Oh, and it's crazy to call the Punisher skull a fascist symbol when it's literally been adopted by fucking cops that use, you know, have been, you know what? You're too fucking dumb to even argue with, man.
Put them on the path. of citizenship.
I think if someone is undocumented in the country, has not committed a violent crime, has not committed a bad crime, they should have a pathway to citizenship. Yes.
Okay, and the people that he
So, but what is the
recently
reason
sent-
why you voted for Donald Trump? And despite of
I
all of
know.
the bad things that you know that I've already brought up about
I know. I just want to ask one more thing though about is
I know.
as far as where was I going with that?
No, you didn't listen to me there. Like what
So yeah, that's really what I wanted to get to, is just like see all the ways that she, just she's fully aware, at least on some level, of how fucking dumb and incompetent and nonsensical. But it's just like, but I didn't like Kamala or whatever. It's fucking insane. It's yeah, I don't get it. Explain it, Bob. Explain it to me.
Trump voters are insane and will justify anything he does. That I don't know how else to explain it. I don't understand it myself. I don't like there are people who I am fan of, but I will still disagree with him. I love Bernie Sanders. There's plenty of topics I disagree with him on. I agree with him most of the time, but there's plenty of times where I disagree. But Trump voters, literally Trump says something and they just start regurgitating exactly what he said, even if it's contradictory to something that he said earlier. I don't get it. I don't get it.
Yeah. It's man, is it really just this comic that's causing this today? They've really showed up in fucking.
I know.
I haven't seen in a while. I guess we're really.
I haven't seen it in a while either.
Pissing them off.
But hey, guys, thanks for the views. Hey, guys.
Yeah, thanks for the engagement as well. If you commented and you downvoted or voted, upvoted or whatever you did, if you engaged with this stream, you're helping us out, and we appreciate it.
And if you haven't engaged with this stream, make sure to engage with it and engage with all the other channels as well. It's on multiple channels. You got Shill Clips, you got my channel, you got Turf Nation, you got Actual Fandom, you got Eric's Debunks, Eric's Reload as well. Plenty of channels.
Yep. It's true. Everybody does it. Does their tribalism with their side, but that doesn't mean that both sides are equally valid. That's the thing here. That's the distinction. You should think about that, man.
I mean,
yeah, God, actually, no. I fucking guarantee you, every single person that showed up because they were triggered by talking about that comic have not actually read it. Guaranteed.
Yeah. Fun fact: the current run of Ultimates is really fucking good. Really.
Yeah. And if it's pissing people off in the way that it seems to have pissed off that fucking weird big-headed freak Wes from Thinking Critical, then it's doing a good job.
Yeah,
because he's a real fucking piece of shit.
And she's showing off more than he tends in that video. And,
or
good
maybe
work
he
by
did.
Dennis Camp there.
Maybe he's fine with it. I don't know. It seems like they're getting a little bit bolder with just saying what they want to say.
Well, apparently doing Nazi stuff is part of the autism spectrum now. So who knows?
Right. Yep. If you can't think of things, you just listen to someone who sounds like they're very confident and
yes,
things that they're gets your pee hard because it makes you feel better than the people that they're telling you are bad.
That's the crazy thing. So Trump says so much with confidence, but he says the dumbest shit, and I feel like a lot of people recognize it, but then obviously there's people who don't. But it's the dumbest fucking shit. How are you worshiping this guy? Fuck.
Came for the EJ distracting. Love that. I mean, hey man, that's look. I praise Comicsgate for all the EJ detracting that they do. I think you guys should focus on that all the time because you're really good at it. Honestly, Ethan's never fucking. I've never been a bigger fan of Ethan. Well, except for maybe whenever he was actually drawing comics. Then whenever he became just almost.
I keep on forgetting he did that.
Do what?
Ethan, I forgot he did comic books. Pretty much just a live streamer, isn't he?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I don't think that he meets the qualifications to be called a comic book creator anymore. I don't think he's put enough out. I could put out a couple of comic books and be almost caught up to him for the last decade.
Yeah, won't be hard. Well, I don't really have too much else to go over. Do you have anything else?
No, man. I'm thanks for letting me hop on today.
Yeah, no problem.
I've been doing music stuff and just kind of disconnecting a bit from all this stuff and trying to figure out what to
you got thrown back in.
Well, yeah, I mean, I just wanted to, because basically, man, if I let myself, I probably would never come back to streaming. And I don't want anybody to take that the wrong way. It's just it's so different like the reasons why I'm doing stuff has changed actually.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, I can talk about that another time, but like I'm just trying to realign my perspective on this stuff now, because you know, for nearly 5 years, my whole, like a big part of why I was doing this was to try to prevent, you know, be some small part of preventing what has happened and continues to happen.
Yeah.
And so in that way, it's like, well, fuck, you know, and I don't want to, I don't know, just trying to realign my relationship with this whole thing, I guess, because it's different now, and you know, I got a family, and I know you do too, but yeah, just trying to figure it out. That's all.
Well, you said you'll be live Friday. Are you coming back Friday?
I think so. Yeah. I mean, hopefully, you know, yeah, I think I will.
So I will be live tomorrow as usual. I got my new comic book poll up for DC comic books. Got podcast poll for our 200th episode. Great trash. What great trash are you guys going to make us watch? And also tomorrow I am going to probably in our debate. Getting a decent amount, but this isn't an EFAP one. This is a person who disagrees with me on my Al Green take. Do you remember Al Green, Dane?
Al Green, the musician?
Yes. No, right here. There's this post. The Chad who was yelling about Medicaid, and Trump said, you know, essentially shut up and sit down, or else we'll kick you out. And he I don't think he said anything after that, but he just kept on standing there, and Trump kicked him out. I'm really disappointed.
It's becoming a pattern, right? Where like people that are saying things that they don't agree with, they're getting removed and silenced. It's kind of weird.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I was disappointed.
Almost like they're fascist.
Weird, right? But yeah, I'm really disappointed the other Democrats didn't all just stand up and say, if you're kicking him, you're kicking all of us, and just make them kick them all. But
so is this somebody that's not MAGA that's disagrees with you? They think that the Democrats.
No, I'm assuming he is MAGA, but yeah, he disagrees on this take, so we will get into it. So cool, it'll be different than an EFAP debate, which is the last two, which was kind of.
I haven't watched those. But is it one of them better than the other? Are they both good or what?
The first one was just somebody who was really getting caught up on details and didn't seem to understand at all how movies worked, and refused to acknowledge how movies worked when I explained them to him. Yeah. And then the second one was just somebody who was just defending Rags despite all the terrible shit he like. I was playing the clips for him, and he's like, well, you know, there's a reason for that. It's like, it's really bad, dude. Come on, really.
I mean, at a certain point, like, it's just admit that you're fine with them being, you know, the shitty person he is, I guess, and saying the shitty things. Yes. It's fine. You can admit that. You don't have to defend him. You know. All right. Well, I'll check that out.
That's the other thing. Like the EFAP fans coming on to defend them. Like it's very cult like. It's like, what the fuck, guys.
Yeah. No, absolutely, man. Like the best way to describe it is that they are a group of revolutionaries. They are not seen as the heroes by the majority of people because of a propaganda campaign by the maker and the people that run the world in this universe. And it's, you know, it's honestly really fucking cool. The stuff that they're doing is they're fighting for the people, like, you know, the people that have been oppressed, legitimately been oppressed in this world. And if you want to see some parallels with the real world in that, then hey, you can do that. But just on its own merit, it's good storytelling. So.
That's thing. So especially the Ultimates and the Absolute books, in particular, Absolute Superman, are really exploring social themes in ways I wasn't really expecting, and really doing a good job with them. So props to Dennis Camp and Jason Aaron.
Absolute Superman number 9, just read today.
Number 5.
Really I'm sorry.
I have not read it yet, but I have it on there. And that's on one of the poll books. It's winning right now, which I'll be honest, I expected to, because the Absolute book's crushing those polls.
Dude, this one is really fucking good. It's kind of heart-wrenching, you know, just the way that it plays out, like the flashbacks from Krypton and everything. And yeah, it's...
I'm a big fan of all 3 Absolute books so far. I mean, I think Batman's really good. Wonder Woman's good. It's not blowing my mind, but Batman's really good. And Superman so far is fucking knock it out of the park. That is my favorite of the 3.
I like Batman. It's weird that so many people seem to like Batman the most, because, like, to me, Superman is just fucking phenomenal. Jason Aaron's doing something pretty incredible with that book. And
I mean, he's also, I don't know if you've kept up, but he's also doing the reboot of Ninja Turtles. He's also doing a phenomenal job on that one.
I did read the first issue or 2 issues of that just to see what Jason Aaron's Ninja Turtles was like, and I was not disappointed. I mean, it's really good. And then I noticed that it was spinning off into like different titles, and I was like, I can't afford that, so I just kind of
It's
stuff.
pretty self-contained. It's what 7 issues, and
But
it's
they have
pretty
like
self-contained.
they have like mutation and all this other stuff where it's like
Yeah,
becoming an
there are
expansive
spin-offs,
universe.
but yeah, it's the main line is still a singular story.
And then it looks like have they Chuds said anything about April O'Neil becoming the new Casey Jones? I saw something about that.
I haven't seen anything about that, but it won't surprise me.
I would not be surprised, if they get quote unquote get upset about that. All right, Bob. Hope you have a good day, rest of your day.
Yes, you too, Dane.
Everybody, subscribe to channels you
like
see
and
in the description down below. Even if you're a comics, especially if you're a comic skater, come by and hate on us. We'll probably talk shit to you and block you if you get really shitty. But give it a shot, man. And I know that I think Bob too are perfectly willing to have reasonable discussions with reasonable people on our channels. If you reach out to us and you can explain what it is, whatever your disagreement is, and we have the time and the ability, then we'll try to make that happen. So,
absolutely.
Do I have to? Is the ending thing still the same? What did they? I don't understand what they added.
I have
here,
not
man.
changed anything. I usually just. The outro's not bad. I think that's what Eric used last time. That works. We can go with that.
Okay. Well,
can you deal with 10-second outro?
What's that?
Can you deal with a 10-second outro?
Yeah. I got this one right here.